Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Bob. Here, I'm taking a shower. I haven't had a shower or a bath in over 2 years. All I do is clean myself with isopropyl alcohol. And anyway, I want to thank everyone for being part of the Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Bob community, and those who have donated in recent moments. Thank you, thank you. I'm getting ready to hit the road, and I'm taking the show on the road. I'm going to build the band, and I was listening to the radio, and let's see if I can bring this back. And there was an interview with Weird Al Yankovic, right? And let's see if I can bring this one back. And Is today the 6th? No, it's the 7th.
For the party because Master Pandemic was emerging? Yeah. Well, we were shooting it. So, Dan, don't know where to go. How do you live outside your preferred political bubble? Next time on 1A. Support for WETS comes from Appalachian Opportunity Fund, providing financial coaching as an employee benefit to area businesses. AOF strives to help employees increase engagement and productivity at work by reducing financial stress at home. AOF coaches work one-on-one with employees to help restore financial stability. AOFcoaching.net. This is listener-supported public radio from the campus of East Tennessee State University, WETS HD1 and WETS FM, Johnson City, Tennessee. Support for WETS comes from the Appalachian Resource Conservation and Development Council, now accepting applications for the Winter Business Intensive Field School. This field school, taught by farmers and other agriculture professionals, focuses on the business of agriculture for beginning farmers. Classes begin November 10th. Registration and tuition at arcd.org.
Enough. There's no way of getting exactly what you're looking for.
Climate hell, says the head of the UN. But can world leaders agree on how and when to come off the gas?
I don't think so.
In Washington. This is 1A.
Oh my God! Thank you, Jane.
I'm David Gura in for Jen White. Today on 1A, another year, another top climate summit.
And
the UN
it just
Secretary
gets
General
weirder.
has set the tone for the next 2 weeks. He says, we're in the fight of our lives.
Which is pretty good weather.
From the climate conference being held this year in the Egyptian resort of Sharm el-Sheikh.
Whatchamacallit, Oppenheimer Ranch.
Later in the hour, you'll hear Jen White sit down with parody rock god Weird Al Yankovic.
Rock
His
god.
new biopic starring Daniel Radcliffe is smart, funny, appropriately weird. That's all ahead after these
Just like
headlines.
this show. And don't believe a word I say. Anybody who's a snowflake.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Windsor Johnston.
I do want to thank
Republicans and Democrats are making a last-minute pitch to voters today in the run-up to the midterm elections. President Biden will host supporters at a rally today in Maryland before returning to the White House. Former President Donald Trump will host an event on behalf of Republicans in Ohio. Voting rights advocates in Georgia are suing a county in the Atlanta region for failing to mail more than 1,000 requested absentee ballots. Sam Greenglass with member station WABE has more.
Cobb County election officials say they made a critical error and didn't upload absentee ballot information to a ballot mailing machine for 2 days in October. The ACLU and Southern Poverty Law Center won a court to compel the county to send the ballots by overnight mail and allow extra time to return them. Absentee ballots otherwise have to be returned by the time polls close. For now, the only option is for them to vote in person, but at least some likely won't be able to, either because they're out of town or have health or mobility issues. The voting rights groups say Georgia's new voting law exacerbated the problem because it shortened the timeline to request, receive, and return an absentee ballot. For NPR News, I'm Sam Greenglass in Atlanta.
The International Climate Summit kicked off today in Egypt. In his opening address at COP27, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres spelled out the scale of the climate crisis to delegates.
The clock is ticking.
Tick, tick,
We
tick,
are
tick.
in the fight
It's like
of our
TikTok.
lives,
End of the
and we are
world. TikTok,
losing.
TikTok, TikTok.
Greenhouse gas emissions keep growing.
Growing.
Global
They're
temperatures
growing.
keep rising.
The speech set an
Rising.
urgent tone as world leaders prepare for 2 weeks of
Look up
discussions on
Alternative
how
3,
to
gang.
avert the worst
They'll
of
tell you
climate
it's a
change.
stupid TV show
4
on
tons
England
of
in the
supplies
70s.
and
But
science experiments are on the way to the International Space
Yes.
Station after launching this morning from Virginia.
a
Brendan
friend of
Byrne
mine
from
wrote a
member
book
station
in
WMFE
the,
reports.
I guess,
Northrop Grumman's Cygnus capsule
2018.
is jam-packed with supplies for the
Atoms
astronauts
for
on
peace.
the International Space Station, including some delayed
Back to
Halloween treats.
1950s that
It's also
didn't happen,
carrying
but
more
could
than
have.
1,800
It might have,
pounds
but
of
we didn't
science
know
gear for
because of the
experiments
Mandela
on the
effect.
orbiting lab. That includes ovarian cells from
Ooh,
cows that
ooh,
will be used for
They're going to make
fertility research, uncovering the challenges of
movie
egg
star
development
monkeys
in
up there in
space that could
space.
help prepare for future
What are
human
they doing
settlements
up
in
there in
space.
space? We never
and help with
know. I mean,
fertility
we paid
treatments
for
here
it, but
on
we don't
Earth.
know.
Another experiment will build
We
on the
never
station's
told.
previous work growing
Ooh, another
plants in
experiment.
space. It's also delivering a 3D printer
Ooh,
that can
3D.
print human tissue samples. The science supplies and crew
Weird
cargo will
science.
arrive
Remember
at the
that
station
show, right?
Wednesday.
Right when the boys
For NPR
used
News,
the
I'm Brendan
computer,
Byrne in
and they
Orlando.
got Terry, what's her
You're
name is?
listening to NPR News in Washington.
Frankenstein.
Officials say an explosion
They were wearing
on board a
brassieres on
bus
their
in the
head.
southern Philippines has left at
It
least 1
heightens that
person dead
pineal
and 10
gland right
others
there.
injured. The bus was nearing a terminal when a homemade bomb was detonated. Investigators are working to determine if the attackers were from the same armed group that staged similar bombings in
Something
past
like
years.
the guys in Hiroshima,
The
Nagasaki,
army in the
homemade
Democratic
bomb.
Republic of Congo is mobilizing young people to fight back against rebels terrorizing civilians in eastern
Oh,
parts of
in
the
eastern
country.
New Jersey.
Ishmael
Yeah.
Fadikwa says the DRC is accusing neighboring Rwanda of supporting
I
the
got
insurgents, a charge
shopping
denied by
center
the government
near
there.
Patterson.
The announcement by an army general follows a call by DRC's President Felix Tshisekedi
Isn't that a past
to
food
fight
chain?
M23 rebels. The rebels have fought government forces on and
rebels,
off for
you know,
years.
Those guys
Since
with
resuming
20
hostilities
flags,
last month,
stars
they
and
have
bars.
captured swaths of territory and caused the
Squad.
displacement
Oh,
of
AOC.
tens of thousands. The M23 was formed in
M23.
2012 to
Isn't
defend
that
Congolese
a
Tutsis
Leica
against Hutu
product?
armed groups. It accuses the government of reneging on a demobilization
Reneging.
agreement.
Ooh, isn't
Foreign
that a dirty
ministers
word?
of the DRC and Rwanda held
Wonder
talks
Bread.
to ease tensions over the weekend.
Oh.
For NPR News, I am Ish Mafundikwa in Harare.
Ooh.
Stocks are trading higher at this hour on Wall
Somebody's
Street. The Dow
making money.
Jones Industrial Average is up 232 points.
232.
The Nasdaq Composite also trading higher, up 15.
They never
The
t-
S&P up
They never
14
tell you
points.
the bottom
This
line.
is NPR.
Just irrelevant numbers.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Indeed, designed to be an end-to-end
Good
hiring
morning, good
solution
evening,
for
and
businesses
welcome
of
to
all
Jimmy
sizes to
Dreamland
attract,
with
interview,
Sensei
and hire
Bob, and
candidates
here it
all
is,
from a single
9
platform.
minutes and 29
Learn more
seconds.
at
I love when that happens. There's one thumbs
Indeed.com/NPR.
up, one person watching. We'll hear a little bit about COP. What's that stand for? Community Action Plan? In Roanoke, there's a thing called HAT, Homeless Action Team. It doesn't do anything except gets money from the town. Good Road, United Way.
This is 1A. I'm David Gura, in for Jen White. World leaders are gathering in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, to discuss the state of the climate.
A really
the backdrop to those conversations at that beach resort is a lot of doom and gloom.
Most scientists agree that an increase of just 0.4 more degrees will drastically change the world.
The world are dealing with record extreme heat.
Storms have been causing deadly floods.
You could have mass melting of ice sheets in Greenland and Antarctica. If we don't act immediately, scientists say the consequences will be catastrophic.
3 degrees of warming is really disastrous.
Dealing with unprecedented heat waves and drought.
All day today, the rain falling so heavily and so quickly. $10 billion. The recovery funds are tight. Rescuers doing everything they can to reach survivors.
Joining us to discuss the COP27 summit is Zahra Hirji, a climate reporter at Bloomberg News. Zahra, thanks very much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
This year's 2-week climate summit kicked off yesterday in Egypt. The main goal will be to strengthen and implement the pledges made at last year's COP in Glasgow. Let's take a listen to this.
I was often told one person cannot make a difference. Well, Nelson Mandela said, "It always seems impossible until it is done."
Oh, that's true.
I hold that thought close to me.
Me too.
It always seems impossible until
I shouldn't
it is
be
done.
here. I should be dead. I should be in
So
a box.
this is why I say today,
should be
a new era begins, and we begin to do things differently.
That's what the Executive Secretary of the UN Climate Convention's opening remarks on Sunday. And Zahra, what could you tell us about the first couple of days of this climate meeting so far?
Yeah, so we're really early days. This is sort of a funny conference where it lasts for 2 weeks, but there's different periods of it. And what always happens at the beginning, certainly very high profile, because that's when a lot of the world leaders and kind of high level officials fly in on the ground and are kind of meeting with each other in groups and one-on-ones. So we're sort of waiting to hear. There's been a bunch of people giving speeches on the floor, but in terms of high-level announcements, that could be coming later today. This is now getting evening in Egypt time into tomorrow. So I think we're waiting to see, will more countries say that they're going to sign on to this global pledge that was announced last year to specifically rein in methane emissions. There was a new announcement today about what more countries are doing, especially led by the UK on dealing with deforestation and kind of helping support countries that have big forests. I think the big sort of surprise news is yesterday it was formally announced that something that's a wonky term called loss and damage is on the agenda. And I'm sure we'll talk more about it, but simply having something that effectively means climate reparations on the official agenda is a really big deal, and that's
a big deal.
I know I'm going to be watching to see what actually
wasn't
comes
a big
of
deal 20 years ago.
You're going to be watching this. A lot of folks are, but this is taking place as a lot of the world's attention is focused on the ongoing war in Ukraine, and I wonder sort of how that conflict is impacting or affecting the meeting that's taking place in Egypt.
Well, it's certainly affected what's happened in the year between last year's conference in Glasgow and where we are today. So coming out of last year's conference, it was sort of seen as a major disappointment that not more kind of was done. There weren't a lot of high-level announcements about more ambitious efforts to rein in this huge crisis, and instead they sort of put the onus on what would happen over the coming year. The declaration was we need more ambition going into 2022. And then the war happened, and that sort of threw everything into chaos, in part because of inflation and impacts on supply chain and food prices. And so tackling climate change, understandably, sort of became a lower priority, even though climate disasters, as your wonderful montage at the top of the session shows, they didn't stop. Yes, and so what that meant is there was a lot of hope that there would be more announcements coming into this conference.
Yeah, what happened to the Paris Agreement?
Of course, there hasn't been zero progress. here in the U.S. where I am based, the Biden administration got this major climate law enacted, but that was sort of seen as a rarity when you actually look at what happened worldwide. And so I think there's some hope, or it's a question of will there be big new announcements coming out of this year, but it's certainly kind of muted the tone, and I think the expectations going into this conference.
In the United States is
in years past, there has been so much made about what words are in documents and what aren't, and where punctuation is. And I want to go back to something you mentioned a moment ago, which is this notion of loss and damage. I think you said the analogy for that, or climate reparations. Explain why that's such a big deal. And over these next 2 weeks, how are you going to be able to chart progress made on that issue?
Oh, very good questions.
Good question.
When you think about climate change and what we could kind of do around it, there's sort of different buckets and specific.
Ooh, different buckets. Sounds like Al Gore.
Rain and emission.
And I thought, and I really saw all the potential.
Not unusual for it to.
Here it is, like let the, I sort of.
Town, so it's sort of run up in the book hotel, experiencing price hikes and potentially getting kind of knocked out of their own hotels. So it's sort of led to this maybe I'd call like an
doesn't this make you sick?
Or a lot of kind of concern about people feeling fully safe and accommodated. Climate.
World's coming to an end, but we want to be safe and accommodated.
A very normal part of ease or
your place as an iconic cultural figure. But when I think about your music, I always think
This will be held at Theater Bristol in downtown Bristol, Tennessee. Schedule.
I can't. My fingers are too big. My fingers are too big. Just waiting for the end of time. Along with a Football Clan and Southern Baptist Church. My buddies. Here we go.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from DuckDuckGo, a company committed to making privacy online simple. DuckDuckGo's app includes a private search engine, web browser, and email protection with one download. More at DuckDuckGo.com.
We can bring it to a real,
and from Little Passports, designed to help children discover the world with hands-on activity kits delivered monthly for ages 3 and up. Learn more at littlepassports.com/NPR. This is NPR.
Yes,
I'm Jen White. This is 1A. You'd think it would be hard to draw a connection between the 1995 Coolio hit Gangsta's Paradise and the Amish community in America.
Yep.
But 5-time Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Weird Al Yankovic did it. He also made similarly hilarious parodies of dozens of other pop songs for the past 40 years.
I'm so wide and nerdy, just too wide and nerdy. How come you're always such a fussy young man? Don't want no Captain Crunch, don't want no Raisin Bran. Well, don't you know that other chicks are starving in Japan, so eat it.
As I walk through the valley where I harvest my grain, I take a look at my wife and realize she's very plain. But that's just perfect for an Amish like me. You know I shun fancy things like electricity.
Now there's a film about Al's life. It's a biopic in the very loosest sense of the word. It's called Weird, the Al Yankovic story, and it's in theaters and streaming on Roku. The film features a who's who of Hollywood stardom, including Evan Rachel Wood playing Madonna and Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al.
So, what brings you here, Madonna?
I was in the neighborhood. Wanted to see if my map to the stars' homes was accurate.
Is that all you wanted?
No. I want a lot of things. But the truth is, I'm a big fan of yours.
Join the club.
Last week, I spoke with Al Yankovic and director Eric Appel, and I hope you have as much fun with the conversation as I did.
I used to say it's a biopic in quotes because we take so many creative liberties, but actually in the Hollywood tradition, it is pretty much a biopic because pretty much all biopics take a lot of liberties. It's not a documentary. It's made for entertainment purposes. And we maybe take a few more liberties than most biopics do, though. And we just figured that, that was the only way to make my life story palatable to a movie audience because I haven't really had much drama in my life. I'm not a controversial figure. I haven't had scandals. I lead a pretty safe, boring life. So to make a movie about my life, you have to, ramp it up a little bit.
Well, Al, it's interesting to hear you say that, you wanted to sort of jazz it up for a Hollywood audience because you didn't think your life was interesting enough. How closely does the film mirror the reality of your life? I'm thinking especially of your childhood.
Well, there are definitely moments of truth in the movie sprinkled throughout, except that those moments seem like they might be fiction as well because there are things that you think didn't really happen. Like, for instance, I really did take accordion lessons because a door-to-door accordion salesman came to our neighborhood. Now, granted, my father didn't beat him into a pulp, but the first part is true. And also, My Bologna, my first single, was in fact
what do you think of
recorded
Weird Al Yankovic?
Things like that throughout.
Have you ever listened to any of his stuff?
I used to like it kind of.
Well, I think he's really hilarious and talented, and John, you're a lot like him. You do paraphrases of other people.
Oh, sorry. No. Yeah, no.
So I mean, if I come, can we do a movie? What do they call it?
Music video?
Well, not a music video. What is it when you
a parody?
A parody. Yep. And you're good at that, John. You're good at that. Just don't get stuck in the same thing. I mean, pick something that you can poke fun at and make a parody of it. I mean, I loved it when you had the green screen of you driving the car.
Or not to be made fun. I gotta go be with my kids though.
Have your boy come to you.
Yeah, okay.
You got that nice big school there.
Maybe she'll send him to me.
Yeah, she will. Yep.
Then we can do parodies and videos and fun. It'll be amazing.
Yeah, it'll be amazing. Right.
Yeah, we can do fun stuff if he's here.
Well, we can do fun stuff even when he's not there.
Well, I got to be there for my kids, though. It's been, I went 3 years without seeing them.
Well, you saw them this summer.
Yeah, but not very long. I stayed a long time, but I didn't get to actually see them that much.
Right.
Because she wasn't ready for me to be there, and I had to go to one of those hospitals again.
Well, how are you doing now?
And I'm not going to have to go to that again. That was just because I didn't get enough sleep, but I wasn't like seeing things or hearing. I wasn't seeing things. But
how would you do a parody of that?
What do you mean? Oh.
Well, that's something you experienced. How could you make it funny?
No, I wouldn't want to make it funny. It was beautiful and good, the work that I did. It was God's work, and it was good. I wouldn't want to joke about it.
You don't think God is funny?
I don't know. He gave us a sense of humor.
You got it. I mean, God made everything, so everything that's funny comes from God.
I guess, yeah. I think we laugh, and I think that's from God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No,
but
not
sometimes
bad. It's good. I mean, it's one of the best things human beings can do is laugh.
Yeah, I just noticed that Chevy Chase, he made it so you can pay to get a video of him.
Well, that's good.
Like you pay him to say something or introduce your video or like say your name or something like.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Al Bob. Yeah. Like how are you?
Hi, I'm Chevy Chase, and this is Al Bob's Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's good. He's an old guy.
But it's cost money.
Yeah, good. Well, so I'm happy he's making
money. It may cost $200, or it may cost $300, or it may cost $500. If it's $500, they can't afford it right now. And but if it's 200,
no, but you could pretend you're Chevy Chase. You don't have to pay Chevy. You can pretend you're Chevy Chase.
Yeah, but you can get the real Chevy Chase.
No, but you could be better than the real Chevy Chase, John. You were
well,
better
I
than
want
the
my
real. You were better than the real Pee Wee Herman, man.
Well, I want my wife and kids.
Well, you can have that too. You know, the more you can, make the channel really something special, the more you can make a little cash, the more you can have respect. You know. And then your wife will want to be back with you. You know.
Well, I don't know what respect has to do with anything. If she loves me, she's supposed to love me no matter how I feel, or how bad feeling or how good feeling I am, or how I am.
Relationships are like it says in the book, it takes two to tango, meaning everyone has to do their best. You can't just settle for the worst. You got to do your best. Settling for the worst. Settling for the worst is like devil's work.
No. Well, no, it's not. If you're the last in line or have the least money or something like that, it's not the devil.
No, that doesn't mean anything. What matters is what you're doing. If you're doing your best, even if you're the last in line, you're doing your best. The others are irrelevant. It's kind of a subjective measurement. But if you do your best, John, that's all that matters. I mean, that's what God wants from us, is for us to do our best. Because we're not perfect. We're a work in progress. And there's not going to be any end times anytime soon, because it's about our work in progress. We have as much time as it's going to take to have that work in progress work out. But we have to do our best. That's
really, you're right.
That's the bottom line. We have to do our best. We have to serve God by doing our best. Not being perfect. We can't be perfect, but we can. I mean, you read the New Testament. You read every one of Jesus Christ's activities in the New Testament. He's doing his best.
Yeah, you have to do your best, but in good, not like.
Doing your best is doing good, John. And when you do your best, it's not evil. Yeah, doing your best is doing good. It's serving, loves, co-creation.
Yeah.
So think of. I mean, see, you just thought of a song. So think of a. What song would you like to parody? What's a parody that pops into your head?
I don't know right now.
Okay.
Oh, something. What?
Anything.
Well, for some reason, I don't know. I want to get her and the kids back. Then we can do all kinds. Well, without her, I don't know. A parody.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that right now, but I don't know if it's appropriate. I don't know if it's good.
It's definitely appropriate. You do your best, John. You make people laugh. You make people happy. That's what God wants.
A parody. So, like
Al Yankovic. I mean, he's got 100. He's got lots of them. I mean,
maybe Metallica. A parody on Metallica.
Okay, sounds good.
They're still big enough where people know who they are, and young people.
So, what song do you know that you could parody?
Just in general, Metallica.
Okay.
And like some of their popular songs to sound like it, but I don't know.
So why don't you go this afternoon and pick out a song that hits you right and see what you can do with it.
I don't know. I don't know if it's right or wrong.
It's right, like John. Making people happy is the thing to do.
If it feels wrong in my heart, I can't do it.
Then don't do it. But give it a try. Okay, buddy. I'll talk to you later. Anyway, so that's, I gave John a lot of opportunity there to serve God and Jesus. and to do his thing that he wants to be a movie star, and he always puts up an obstacle. And that's what we do when we can't marshal ourselves to do our best. We make excuses. There is no excuse. My second wife said, "Don't ever say you're sorry. I don't want to hear it. Do your best. Go up and do it." Right? So that's why she loved me, because I never said I was sorry, and I always did my best, and I always, took care of business, took care of her. I knew exactly what she wanted, and I did my best to make that happen. And that made her happy. Made her happier than anything else. Let's see. Do I have a picture of that? No. The pictures I have in this book, this is a thing called Floyd Fest, and this was the first year of Floyd Fest, right? And this was where Floyd Fest happened. This was a farm on top of the mountains of the Blue Ridge Mountains between Roanoke and Floyd. And this was right off of the Blue Ridge Parkway, right up there. And it was about a 300-acre farm. And this was the big meadow. This was about a 100-acre meadow, right? And there were forests around it, and there was 2 other meadows behind it back there. And this is when, this is springtime, but we got there actually before this, right? And Chris, his sweet wife, was in charge. Her daddy owned the property. He was a real estate guy from the Queen City, and it was great. There were a bunch of artists from Floyd, and it was a crew, a cadre, and these 2 kids were they were farmer set, and but they were artists too. And here's Dave. I used to work for Dave. He's an electrician. He's a guy whose license this whole thing was under, and I did all the work. And he came and checked it out. And Spike is Spike right there, and he's like, making fun of Dave. Dave was always so serious. He couldn't have a good time. I mean, this is as good as Dave could get having a good time. That's as good as Dave could get. But Spike was righteous, right? So here's right. So I got dumped here early in February, right? And we had a couple of school buses, and we started laying out the site. We first put a big fence around it, and we put a road through it where the people were. This is the welcome home. People were going to come through there. These are little signs I painted. Harmony Lane. That was the main drive. And so so everything was going to be like, good old days, right? So, I'm a theater guy. Build a stage, and this is, just a facade. See, that's just a facade. And this is like being on the porch, right? And we had a lot of these little stages where people would come and play. And here's our African village, because the African showboys, here they are, they were the guys who lived with me, right? Chris dropped them because they had like a visa to visit for like 3 months, and then he took them all over the East Coast to different shows, but he kept them up there, so nobody knew that they were there. So we grew a garden. These guys like vegetables, so we were growing a garden. So here's us putting in the garden in April. And that's, having a good time. That's like, what it's about. Life is about living it, not worrying about it, right? And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your Sensei Al Bob, your Grant, telling you stories, showing you pictures. There's 2 folks watching. 1 thumbs up. How about some more thumbs up? How about some comments over here? And I know most of you watch this later on, like it's wallpaper. Let's see. Who else can we call up? Let's try Sweetie, the amazing girl. Let's see if she answers. She has been off doing something. I haven't been able to get her. She's on the other side of the world, so her little time thing is different than ours. So. Well, she's not answering this phone ever. One or the other.
I'm sorry.
Yep. Okay. So they're not there. Who else? Let's talk to Liz. Liz is a good bud, a really good photographer. She was one of the first folks in the corporate world to be an artist in the digital domain. She could be world famous and rich, but she decided to teach.
The party you are trying to reach is not available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone. Press the pound key to end recording.
Hey, which phone number am I getting you on? It's just, I don't know. But anyway, get a hold of me. Love you. I'm going to be in town in a few weeks. Love to get a hold of you. Catch you later. Let's see what Ivo has to say. Boo, 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 boo. New private dating chat. New private dating chat. New private. Now, is that a troll fishing our little community? Do. Anyway, again, you can take the world. I've been, seen more horrors than most people should. And, that's why I picked up my 3 rules. Doctor, do no harm. Do not get involved unless you have a workable exit strategy and you're only going in to get the innocent out of harm's way. Don't get involved unless you're going in to make things better by understanding. So those are my 3 guardrails, and they serve me quite well. The other thing is patience, meaning, I could always get angry at whatever, but I don't. I just let it percolate and see what it's going to come. Because when I put, God's unconditional love in my heart and Jesus' unconditional forgiveness in my bread pan up here, I basically patience comes out the other side, and everything works out. And that's all I do. It's like I don't really run around and do things I don't need to do. The thing I need, like today, there's lots of stuff I need to do before I take off. And again, thank you for those who have dumped a little chump change into my PayPal. Thank you very much. And I would love it as I leave here, because it's easy for me to be a millionaire on $400 a month just living in the woods. And it's been a real blessing we've had today. It's 75 degrees, right? And it's been beautiful. I mean, virtually every day. It rains in the evening, early morning, and then around 9 o'clock it stops. By 10, it starts to clear up. By 10:30, the sun is out. and it stays beautiful until about now. The clouds are rolling in a little bit. Maybe it'll rain tonight, and that's the way it should be. That's the way God planned it, right? And all the leaves are off the trees now. And I have prepared, about 80% to leave. I have 2 weeks to continue to prepare. So what did I do? There are some real, sump holes in my man cave, and I cleaned them out today, right? And I've been organizing everything instead of just being piles of jumble. I went and got boxes at the supermarket, and so that was a couple of weeks ago, and I had a couple of wagons full of boxes, and somebody, oh, we have to check. They said, we have to look at all these boxes. I said, fine. I didn't take them. I asked one of your people if they had any empty boxes, and they brought me these. So sure, go ahead, take a look. But I could have got upset. What do you accuse it? No, it's like, forget about it, right? So if you don't go out the door without it, it's not a problem, right? So sure, check it out. Let's see. And that's, I don't get upset about anything. I don't get upset about politics or anything. Like, I was with a friend and they were like, waiting online to, vote, right? And there are all these rules and laws that you're not supposed to be talking about, trying to get people to vote a certain way, right? And so there were these guys, waiting online to vote, and they wore MAGA hats and they wore body armor, And so they were talking about was Carrot Head and MAGA this and MAGA that and the big lie and blah blah blah. So or the big steal. And so the woman who was up ahead of us was really getting upset with this. And she turned around and said, well, you're not supposed to do that. Blah, blah, blah. And they said, bitch, you're just a blah, 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 expletive liberal who blah, 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 still blah, 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 blah. And I turned away and said, don't worry. I got this. And I turned around and said, I just love a man in uniform. And Donnie is Carrot Head is he's perfect, he's the smartest guy. It's just and everyone who's MAGA just is LGBTQ MLSUT. I love you. And a man in uniform. Ooh, have you a little Willie? I love the way Donnie is so forceful. The way he drives his little Willie. I just went on and on and on. And these guys got so freaked out, they literally ran away. And everyone online was laughing hysterically, right? And the person who was like a policeman who was supposed to be watching this, he came over to me and he knew me. He goes, you just don't behave, do you? I said, wasn't that better than what else could have happened? And he started laughing and patted me on the back and walked away. And so that was fun. And that's, of course, yes, the guy could have, pulled out a gun and shot me, but that would have been okay. I've been shot before, and if I'm not supposed to die, I won't die. I mean, I proved that 7 times already, right? So it's never fun to get shot. I've been shot a couple of times, and it's never been fun. I lost my palm to a gunshot. I grabbed the barrel of the gun because this guy was about to shoot somebody, and I went like this, right? And he pulled the trigger, and the bullet didn't go through me, but the gases that came out took my palm off. It's not so bad. It's got a little bit of scarring, but it didn't take any muscles or any nerves or anything. It just took my palm off, And I still have this palm, and that's kind of meaty. Still got flesh on it. This one is it's still got meat on it. It's kind of healed okay. But anyway, so, and as Buddha said, dying is like slipping out of a tight slipper. And I die every night when I go to sleep, because when I wake up, wow, it hurts, right? But that's what allows me to seriously pray and meditate. And in the Ku Klux Klan Southern Baptist Church, we were talking about meditation. And so the guy goes, because it's all over the New Testament. Jesus is always talking about meditating, right? And so, and breathing. And anyway, so, well, this ain't hippie. This ain't hippie meditation. This ain't hippie meditation. And I said, of course it's not hippie meditation, because hippies are people who shoot heroin in their hip. And he was like, and as soon as he went, like, every time the minister does this, I just know I got at least 5 minutes to say whatever I want, because he can't say anything back. He's just like frozen. He's like, and that's when people kind of wake up and go, oh, what's Al going to say now? And I said, oh, so you want to see what Jesus is talking about? Let's all breathe nice and deep. Come on, breathe, 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 breathe in. Focus your conscious mind on your breath. And right here in John 2-9, it says, focus your mind on the Lord and not worldly things. And that's what you do when you breathe like this. Anyway, so I went on and on and on, and everyone was going, whoa. Is this what prayer is supposed to be? This is good. I like this. And again, the Ku Klux Klan, Southern Baptist Church hasn't, strung me up yet, And the first time I walked in there, it was interesting, because I didn't know whether they were going to string me up, but they all started laughing. They just, because on the top of me, I had my manly vest on. I had all, camo up above, and then I had pink pants on. So they were like, and I said, it's camo. It's pink camo. They started to laugh. And so I sat down, and the service hadn't started. And fellowship is when you study the Bible or something. That's fellowship. Fellowship hadn't started. And so they came over and started talking to me, and I started talking to them, and I knew persons they knew. And it was all good, And one of them, they were talking about the Good Samaritan that Sunday, and one of them, I needed to go to the hospital the next day, and I had nobody to drive me. So one of them, I said, I'll do it. And so anyway, so out of that crew that Hillary would call a basket of deplorables, everyone is really sweet and nice. Yes, they have their opinions, but that's all they are. And I say, you have an opinion, that's fine by me. You can, have that opinion, and we can talk about that opinion, and I can give you insight and my opinion, and I don't have to change your mind at all. As long as I will open my mind to listen to what you say, you just open yours to what I say. And they, like I said, it's been now 4 months and they haven't killed me yet. So it's where it's at. And that's, a good 700 people in that church. Right. And so they're all, I see them all the time now, and they always come out of their way and come over to me and pat me on the back and say to this man is truly God's child, that's pretty, or something like that, because there are a lot of guys. And the other thing I do is that I sit and talk to a lot of the older folk, my age, who are kind of waiting to die. And I've been trying to say, no. So your old lady died. Oh, your old man died. There are all these kids here. They need a mentor. You show them, well, I'm just stupid. No. You've lived this long. You have a lot of advice. And you just show them kindness and consideration and respect, and they will do the same, and your life will be better. And about 20 of those old folk who were just kind of crotchety aren't crotchety anymore, right? A couple of them are dating, So anyway, it's all good, right? And the kids there are truly amazing. They really, really, really have God's love in their heart. They really do. They're doing, I keep telling them, do their best, and they're doing it, right? And about why I go to that church, about a third of the kids who went to that school that I was going to work at, but I was too overqualified for, I showed them geometry. And, they were all into basketball. And I said, if you can shoot this angle every time, you'll get an hoop every friggin' time. And if you breathe this way, you will slow everything down no matter how fast you're running. And you'll be able to see that angle and shoot. And that's what they're doing. So there's 4 of them. The coach, he loved that. He was one of the math teachers. And he said, these kids couldn't even understand it. Now they're doing algebra and trigonometry. Well, geometry is the key to all those things, right? So, I showed him that now. So I said, you got 6 kids here who are going on to high school. And so this year, make them coaches, defensive coach, offensive coach, 3-point coach, running coach, dribbling coach, And so we did. He picked 2 girls and 2 boys, right? And 2 of them are going to be around for another year. And man, they are so proud. They are so working hard to be a coach. And they're taking the little ones, right? 4th, 5th, and 6th graders and getting them to really focus and be conscious. Because these kids, those 4, they shoot 300 baskets a day. When I got anytime they're down in that gym shooting baskets, right? So because they know that's the only way they're going to college, right? So anyway, that's what it is to be part of your community. That's what it is to do your best. Not to have a laundry list of what you think God wants you to do. You have to have a life, and through that life, you will, and through that life, doing your best, you will be God's reflection. You will be Jesus's, patience, right? And the world will get better. You will be that little pebble in the conscious point of view. Let's see if we can listen to Al. Al boy.
For the party because Mastriano is much further behind in his run for the gubernatorial race and is seen much more as a hardline candidate. President Biden and
at NYU Law School joined me along with David Becker, the executive director and founder of the Center for Election Innovation.
Last week, I spoke with Al Yankovic and director Eric Appel, and I hope you have as much fun with the conversation as I did.
I used to say it's a biopic in quotes because we take so many creative liberties, but actually in the Hollywood tradition, it is pretty much a biopic because pretty much all biopics take a lot of liberties. It's not a documentary. It's made for entertainment purposes. And we maybe take a few more liberties than most biopics do, though. And we just figured that, that was the only way to make my life story palatable to a movie audience because I haven't really had much drama in my life. I'm not a controversial figure. I haven't had scandals. I lead a pretty safe, boring life. So to make a movie about my life, you have to, ramp it up a little bit.
Well, Al, it's interesting to hear you say that, you wanted to sort of jazz it up for a Hollywood audience because you didn't think your life was interesting enough. How closely does the film mirror the reality of your life? I'm thinking especially of your childhood.
Well, there are definitely moments of truth in the movie sprinkled throughout, except that those moments seem like they might be fiction as well because they're things that you would think didn't really happen. Like, for instance, I really did take accordion lessons because a door-to-door accordion salesman came to our neighborhood. Now, granted, my father didn't beat him into a pulp, but the first part is true. And also, My Bologna, my first single, was in fact recorded in a public restroom. So there are little things like that throughout. But then we wanted to do that by design because we wanted people to think when they're watching this,
at least at the beginning, that maybe this is true, you know, and by the end of the second act, you're like, wait a minute, this is definitely not true.
Yeah, that was pretty much the journey I was
Sounds
on
like me.
while watching the film.
You thought it was going to be, well, that could be true. And then,
So
you know, when
Alan
I'm like in outer space with the
2009,
aliens, I don't know.
You know,
But it still could
this
be
whole
true.
thing started
You know,
as a
your
fake
Sensei
movie
Bob
trailer
could be out
that
there with the
I made
aliens.
for Funny or Die.
Actually, it's so cute.
And originally, I had reached out to Al through a mutual friend, Patton Oswalt, just to get his blessing to make this fake trailer. And much to my surprise, I, you know, got an email 20 minutes later from Al saying that he was, you know, familiar with my work at the website and loved the idea and wanted to collaborate on it.
Or Funny
Why
or
was
Die.
that surprising to you? I mean, knowing Al's creative presence, you were really surprised that he was game?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was surprised that he was game. I thought I would get permission to do it. Like, oh, this is a great idea. But, you know, being a lifelong fan of Al's, you know, I sort of never imagined that he would want to work with me on something like this.
Al, take me to the moment when you received that email from Eric saying, hey, I want to do this joke trailer that's about a biopic of your life. What happened in your mind?
Well, you know, I immediately knew what Eric was going for, and I thought it was a brilliant concept. And it was like, oh gosh, this is something I should have done myself. But Eric brought it up, so like maybe he wants to work on it with me.
Yeah.
And we got together that night at a coffee shop on Sunset Boulevard, and I brought my laptop, and we both just watched a bunch of biopic movie trailers. Somebody and probably 1,000 people have already thought of that idea.
Yeah, and sounds change and new styles emerge. Are there songs right?
You know, like, okay, I don't think he's really hip to what I'm doing. I was basically unheard of. I mean, people that listened to the Dr. Menojah knew who I was, but really nobody else.
Eric, do you remember when you first became aware of Al and his music?
I distinctly remember my mom showing me the Eat It video when I was 4 years old. We were a big MTV household. My mom turned me on to a lot of comedy. She got me into Monty Python and SNL. But I remember.
Okay. Trying to find a song or two of Al. Weird Al Yankovic, YouTube. He plays the accordion. Rock star with an accordion. My first wife, Donna Ann, she played a squeeze box. Well, it's a little accordion. What is going on here? Here we go.
Life is like a parody of your favorite song. Just when you think you know all the words, surprise, you don't know anything.
Where is the image?
Time of death, 7:30.
With the songs and the crazy magazines, that is all going to stop now, young man.
Honey, I know it's hard to hear this, but your dad and I had a long talk, and we agreed it would be best for all of us if you just stop being who you are and doing the things you love.
You don't understand me!
Why can't I see the picture? Come on.
A few weeks later, a mysterious stranger showed up at my door and changed my life.
Don't understand me!
It was a few weeks later when a mysterious stranger showed up at my
you don't get to
door
see the
and
picture.
changed
You
my
can hear the
life
voice.
forever.
Knocking at the door. Why, good afternoon, sir. The gentleman of the house, I take it? Well, congratulations. Today is your lucky day. How would you like to be the envy of all of your friends and the most popular fellow in town? Well, everything you need to make that happen is right here in this box.
My dad is actually...
Voila. Feast your eyes. Have you ever seen such a gorgeous instrument? Better yet, try it on. So, when you play the accordion, you are a one-man band. You are the life of every party. Go ahead, son. Tickle those ivories. A natural talent. Son, you cannot squander that. You have got to buy this beauty, and I guarantee it, you're going to have girls lined up around the corner. You're going to need a lifeguard because you're going to be drowning in so much Hey! What's going on here? And hello to you, sir. What are you doing in my house? And why is my innocent young child wearing that devil's squeeze box? That's actually our newest... I thought I told you to shut up! I don't remember you telling me to shut up before, but if you're telling me now, I will gladly.
Dad!
Sounds like my dad.
Dad, stop! You're killing it! Nick, no! Nick, hey, Nicky, stop it right now!
You made me do this, boy. You brought this evil into the house. And now look at you. Look at you.
I can't see.
Take that
I know my mother.
devilish monstrosity off this very instant. I don't want to see you ever wearing it again.
Nick, why don't you go take a little walk? I think you'd better cool off.
Yeah? I could use some fresh air. Because it stinks in here.
Or I used to sell vacuum cleaners. That never happened to me.
Mister, I'm so sorry about this. My husband, he just has a little bit of a temper, but he is a good man and he means well. But anyway, if you're amenable to it, we'd like to buy that accordion.
Mom, you mean it?
How do you feel about an early Christmas present?
Yes! This is the best thing ever! Thank you so much!
That's
Just
how
one
life
thing.
works, guys. You don't have to see the picture.
No one can
Use
see
your
you playing
imagination.
it, especially your father. This is our secret. Do you understand me?
Does Dad hate me?
No, of course not, sweetie.
Then why is he always so hard on me?
I want you to be a man.
Listen, you're too young to understand now, but just trust me. Your father has his reasons.
He's
I have a collapsed lung.
We're trying to have a conversation here, sir.
For the next few years, I kept to myself, tried my best to please Mom and Dad. Deep down, I felt like I was living a lie. Sure, I was well behaved, I got good grades, but I never let anyone know the real me.
Hey, Yankovic. Going to that party at Hofstadter's tonight? His parents are out of town.
Geez, guess I don't know. I'm not really allowed to go to parties.
You don't need to have your parents' permission. Just sneak out.
I don't think I can. My mom always tucks me in case I have night terrors out.
You have night terrors?
No, I Just in case.
Well, just use a Hey Boy then.
A Hey Boy? What's that?
You don't know what a Hey Boy is? Dude, you got a lot to learn. Just let us handle everything. We'll pick you up tonight.
Okay, yeah.
Night-night, Alfie. Don't let the bed bugs give you night terrors.
It is. One-man band.
Myron Corin is great and all. Lawrence Welk sure likes him, but he's way too overexposed. For my money, it's Whoopi, John, Wilford that really gets me to stop and step in. I'm all about that Minnesota sound, man.
Hey! You didn't tell me that this was going to be a polka party.
What, do you not like polka?
No, my parents would kill me if they knew I was here, okay? I'm so sorry, guys. I gotta go. I can't be here.
Come on, Al. Live a little. What's the worst that could happen? You might actually let your guard down and enjoy your life for once?
Got that? Let your guard down, kids. Enjoy your life for once.
Yeah. Let my guard down.
It's a polka party.
Pass it. Okay, dude, okay. Al, here, you gotta try this.
Oh, no, thanks. I'm good.
I was afraid his mommy and daddy are gonna find out he tried an accordion.
I just don't want to play, okay? Just lay off me, man. No, guys. I'm not gonna...
Come on, loosen up, Al. Accordion.
I'm not.
Yes, wait.
Sure. I'll play. Yeah.
Here we go. Those friends are amazed. The girls are hot. It's starting to bob and weave. It's starting to rock. It's starting to roll. Everyone's amazed.
It's the cops! Everyone, run!
It's the cops. Everyone run.
I'm sorry to disturb you, ma'am, but I'm afraid we found your son at a polka party.
At a polka party.
Playing an accordion.
That's impossible. Alfie's in...
Oh, hey, boy. Really?
Okay, so I guess you guys have to go watch that movie. Okay, one last call. Let's see. Whoa. Let's see if Dr. Magic. Well, I'm double doctor. Mr. Magic. There he is. Let's see.
Hello.
Hey, handsome.
Hello.
Hey, what do you think of Weird Al Yankovic? The guy who makes the funny songs, the parodies.
Yeah, well, I'm not really even sure how to answer that question. Like, what do I think of him? Like, do I like him? Do I dislike him?
Yeah. Exactly. The point of view.
Are we on the air?
Of course.
What do you mean, of course? I have to ask
you. Yeah. Should always, it's just like the NSA. They're always listening.
I could tell.
Yep.
Weird Al Yankovic. He means no harm. I appreciate what he does. I think existence is more cheerful because of his participation.
Yep.
Yeah, he gets a thumbs up.
Yep, he gets.
But I can't say I go really much further than that.
He is. I was listening to public radio, and he has got a. What do they do it when they make a story about you?
This is your life.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So, but there's a term for it where they.
This is your life. Oh.
Yes.
This is your life. Double doctor. And it sounds like you've lived it twice.
Yep.
And I don't have to say that more than once.
More than once. Yep, exactly. A parody. I'm having a duality going on in my life. There's the life that's going on, and then there's the parody.
Yes.
Yes.
I do declare.
Yep.
So any feedback from the
I just think
gallery?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Hey, Peanut Gallery. There's.
I hope I didn't upset Miss Fish.
No, she's cool with it. No,
I might have been particularly obnoxious.
No, if you bothered her, she would find you and just beat the crap out of you.
I'm easily offended, and I offend easily.
Yes, right. No, she was good. She had a chuckle or two.
Good. All right. Well, I'm in a little bit more subdued mode, so don't
expect you to.
Don't expect the A game.
Right.
But I'm in a good place. I'm just kind of chilling,
Right.
So Weird Al was interviewed on what NPR?
Yeah, on NPR. Yep. Their morning show.
Actually, I give the guy a lot of credit. He carved out something really good for himself.
Right.
He doesn't seem like he's very compromised.
No, he has a very as you would say, a Christian life.
He identifies as a Christian.
Oh, big time, yeah, and he doesn't curse. He's had the same wife for the last 40 years. So they got kids. He's has a very he says it, a very dull life, right?
He's being very modest. It's far from a dull life.
Right, and he's but very good at turning a phrase.
Yeah, no, I think he's. I saw a documentary about him on VH1 many years ago when VH1 used to show music.
Right.
I respect him actually.
Right.
I don't know every bit of his career. I didn't know the Christian piece, so that's interesting.
Well, he keeps that to himself. He just.
Well, most Christians are that way. At least the ones that I respect.
Right. He doesn't wear it on his sleeve. He doesn't when he goes
about.
Right. He goes on stage to make people happy, not to proselytize.
Yeah, and I think that's why I was, what I said. He adds some joy to this.
Right. And all his making fun is like of good nature, meaning it's not like being mean to the person who's making the song.
Yeah, from what I remember, all the parodies were never really too injurious to the people.
Right, they're not at all because they're basically
they're not mean-spirited at all.
Exactly, not mean-spirited at all.
In fact, from what I remembered, many of the artists that he parodied
loved it.
They were quite pleased, and had some had input later on. Like I know Michael Jackson was quite fond of Weird Al.
Yep.
And gave him the go-ahead to do a lot of those stuff.
Yep.
I think he had the parody album. When Michael Jackson
Eat It. Yeah.
When Michael Jackson had the album Bad, Al had the album Even Worse. and he's wearing the similar outfit and hair. And stuff.
Right. Yep.
You know, and Mike was appreciative of that.
Yep.
You know,
and the
Coolio,
Coolio.
he could have been a real, he could have kind of been an SOB and been
Yeah,
like
yeah.
showing like diddling kids or
Right,
some of the things that
exactly.
Michael unfortunately engaged in.
Right.
I shouldn't even say it like that.
No,
Diddling kids. That makes it kind of
No.
trying to make fun at the expense of the victims.
Right, right. Just say that he was inappropriate.
He was extremely inappropriate.
Right, right. So,
However, that's between him and God. So that's
right, exactly. It's not ours to judge.
Well, I can have a judgment, but that's just mine.
Right. And that's called an opinion. That's called an opinion.
Put that on someone else.
That's an
correct.
opinion. That's opinion. Right.
And I'm not necessarily going to share it or attempt to make others feel the same way I do.
Right.
I just try to make them laugh with the silly voices.
Yep.
Thank you for giving me
a platform.
I guess a job.
Yeah,
a job. Although I don't feel like performing today. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's good, though. I'm glad you called.
Yep.
I was actually watching a Terry Gilliam film.
Oh.
Which I would have not been aware of before.
Which one?
It's one of his later films. It's called Zero Theorem.
Oh.
It was okay. I mean, it was just like at the conclusion when you called, so I was like,
good timing.
I'll pick it up later. Yeah, it seemed like to have all the themes of Gilliam's work.
Yes.
He just recently turned 80.
Really?
Yeah. So he's another one. He found his path and a way to
his niche,
kind of sustain himself, and not compromise. And I think to a certain degree, I mean, I question that a lot when I think about these people, about how much have I compromised in my life, and I don't think I compromised as much as I sometimes think I have.
Right. You may have take a fork in the road every now and then, but compromising is a different thing.
Yeah, I really don't think I ever did.
No.
Honestly.
Fork in the road, yes, and then you came back around.
Several times.
Yeah, right, and that's what life is, coming back around.
Well, that's when you really try to break away from linear thinking.
Right.
And look at it more in cyclical terms.
Oh, talking about that, did you print out death?
No.
Okay.
But I will have the time to do that this week because I have off.
Oh, good.
So
I'd like to get your opinion on all of that.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a project.
Yeah. Well, it's only.
I think I have a couple of dollars to spend.
Well, just start out with the first 20 or so. You don't have to do it all at once.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Come on. I'm not. I'm all or nothing, dude.
Well, I'm all about getting started.
Well, that too. That's what I'm saying. I had band practice yesterday.
Oh, how'd that go?
On Saturday, rather. So, yeah, it went great, actually.
So has it been warm in Nueva York?
Unfortunately, yes, much to my chagrin.
Right. Yeah, you like it cooler.
I like it cold.
You like it cold? Okay.
I like it fall, autumnal weather, 24 hours a day, all year.
Well, I actually like it.
I've yet to find that place on the planet that's that way.
Well, go to the North Pole now. Now it's perfect. It's not really super. It's not like 100,000 degrees below zero. It's like between 20 degrees Fahrenheit and about 40.
It's gotten that bad, huh?
Oh yes. I mean, you know what the temperature in Alaska is right now?
Not a clue. No.
80 degrees. You know what the temperature in Seattle is?
Not a clue.
about 40 degrees. You know what the temperature in, if you go east into Oklahoma, you know what it is there? It is, in the higher elevations anyway, it's like way below zero. There's going to be a lunar eclipse, I think, this morning.
Well, how can it be a lunar eclipse?
It's going to happen this morning.
Oh.
Wednesday morning.
We're already in the afternoon.
Wednesday morning.
Oh, Wednesday morning.
I mean, yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday morning, whatever. What is today? Monday? Yeah, today's Monday.
You know all these temperatures, but yet not the day.
Exactly.
All right.
I check those things out. I never check the day.
You sure you're going to make it to Staten Island?
Who knows? It's all up to Tony Two Toes and whatever.
Tony Two Toes.
Tony Two Toes.
Is Tony Two Toes a thalidomide baby? Is that what?
No. Tony Two Toes shot his two of his toes off when he was playing with his gun.
Oh, don't play with your gun, Tony.
Yes, exactly. And his lover boy was Bobby Bentnose. And the characters out of Goodfellas, right?
Yes.
Were from these two guys. Joe Pesci played Bobby Bentnose, and what's his name? Robert De Niro played. Actually, the guy who was Tony Two Toes was the big fat guy who was a semi-boss. You still there? Did I lose you? Might have lost him. Anyway, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland. There's no one online. And it's 1 hour and 21 minutes and 21 seconds. I love it when that happens. Jane has been with us. Hey, Janie Poo. Love you, love you, love you. You back?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't hang up on you. I was.
No, don't hang up. I'm walking around with the Bluetooth, but I walk away from the phone.
Right.
To put the garbage down the chute.
Down the chute.
Because my wife orders things that require to be thrown down the chute.
Down the chute.
Down the chute.
I don't buy anything unless I can set it on fire.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. And that's, I get rid of my carbon footprint right off the bat.
And I guess Bigfoot's in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. He comes and takes through the cans. Him and the little dogs.
He takes big dumps.
Oh yeah, but he's at least
real big.
He does a nice job of shitting in the woods, whereas the little dogs don't. I have to watch out for that.
His poop is very good for compost.
So are you wrapping something or destroying something?
Unfortunately, there's this package that comes with Hungry Root, which is a grocery service that delivers healthy food in a box to your apartment. And it uses this kind of packing material, which I believe is all paper, which is a good thing. Although styrofoam still has its function, even though it's not.
Well,
but the earth created human beings to make styrofoam.
Back in the day, when I was in the alternative technology and the UN, we invented a styrofoam that was made from leaves and twigs. You chop it up and turn it into oak, and then do this process, and it turned it into styrofoam. So it was a lot better. It would decompose quite nicely, whereas styrofoam doesn't.
No, that styrofoam does not. But then again, styrofoam can be recycled.
Yep. So
just doesn't decompose. But you can melt it. You can tube
there is,
stuff.
that's a big fallacy about plastic. There really is no plastic that can be recycled.
Yeah, but you can remelt it and shit.
No. It costs. I mean,
costs too much to do that.
Not only that, it makes more, a bigger carbon footprint doing that. But you really can't take styrofoam or the clear plastic that they wrap everything in, or the plastic bags you get at the supermarket. You can't, chop them up and turn them into something else.
Can you turn it into another plastic bag?
No. Sorry, can't do that.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. And,
I thought you could turn it into another plastic bag, but it would still create a lot of toxic fumes and things of that.
Right. The best you can do with that stuff is when you take it home, you reuse it as much as you can.
Right. Well, that's
so those plastic bags I get, I reuse them over and over and over and over and over. And the UV light will take them apart, but still will not take it down to its composite, parts. It'll change it into dust, but that dust will still be the same thing as a plastic bag, just dust.
Right. Well, he could always breathe it in.
Yeah, that's right. Or what it really does, it goes into the ocean. That's what most plastic does.
That is correct.
It goes into the ocean.
Well, listen, to me at this point in my life, I don't care. I mean, listen, if it makes the neighbors feel better to wrap up the cardboard like I'm doing here,
right.
Then so be it. But as far as it actually extending my life or the life of the planet, I have no concern.
Well, the thing about the planet is the planet.
But listen, if it gets me into Tammy's good graces, I'm all about recycling.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Because
if I can get close enough to Tammy, to blow some of that plastic dust into her lungs,
right,
to punish her for hurting you, double doctor, then I'm all about it.
Right, no, you don't have to do that.
Oh no, it has to be done. It has to be done.
No, not in
harms have been committed. Threats have been issued. Assassins have been called.
Not in my name. Not in my name.
Yeah, the Owl Hit Squad is on its way.
Well, I've had
please feel free to publish Tammy's whereabouts at any given time.
Did you ever go to Puppy's on Hudson Street?
No.
It was down in Tribeca. It was one of the first arty bars. Tribeca, when we moved down there in the late 70s.
That was probably long gone by the time I was drinking age.
Right.
Sir.
No. Puppy's is still there.
Oh well, then I probably had no interest to go.
So it was a workers' bar. All those phone companies that were down there where he used to work.
Okay.
They would go have their Irish lunch, corned beef sandwich, and a couple of beers.
Corned beef and garbage, and then some sandwiches.
Right. Yeah. And it was a really long bar. It was a whole block long, and the building was relatively narrow, maybe about 40 feet deep, but like 300 feet long. And it had two nice apartments above it. And Frank, a nice Jewish boy from Queens, bought it for a song, like for $25,000, like in 1973 or 4. And Frank always wanted to be a mercenary, right? So he tried to make that into a merc bar, and it was But when the artists came down, they were looking for a place to drink. So it became an artist mercenary bar, right? And, he lived upstairs. We used to have great parties upstairs. So I got to know a lot of mercs. And as the years went by, Frank always had me do a favor or two for them electrically. And one time he said, "Listen, I have a friend."
Well, that's not what I heard. I heard some other kind of favors. We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
Now, you have to hold on a moment because you're going to be disconnected as I throw the recycling down the chute and pretend, oh, Tammy, I'm doing this for you, girl. To keep the planet alive for us.
I like the echo.
Well, I thank you. I'm Pink Floyd. Welcome. I commit all refuse to the ground to save this earth.
Down the chute it goes.
Down the chute, Tammy. I'd love to see that rear chute.
Yep.
Show me that high. Don't let Sven or any of these other reprobates take you away. Listen to you. Go to you.
Right. Like the Queen of England. She was a reprobate.
And stop hanging from.
Oh, there's fish. There's a company in Australia has developed a process which reproduces it back into components and can, I think.
Well, perhaps you could clone Tammy for me.
Okay.
And install maybe a calculator instead of a brain.
Yep.
So she'd be more willing to have strategic inputs. If you catch my meaning.
Electrodes. You're talking about electrodes.
Oh, certainly not, sir. fleshy electrodes.
Right. Anyway, so Frank had a friend of mine, of his, who needed a job. Nobody would hire him, and he was handy guy. So I hired him as an electrician, and he showed up, and he worked well. And as the months went by, he went from work boots, jeans, and a work shirt into like camo. And one day he showed up.
It's on 81 Hudson Street.
Yes, 8100. Yep.
Puffy's Bar.
Yep.
All right. Well, do they also happen to have? They have sandwiches.
Yes, they have sandwiches.
I'm on there. They're open. They close at 1 a.m.
Right. They open about
Monday, 10. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Right.
Saturday they're closed. Well, he's Jew, so he observes the Sabbath.
Yeah.
And that's where they drink the blood. No, I'm sorry. I can't talk about
come on.
Anyway, that is where the Illuminati
No.
have their.
You don't want to be nixed before you start, buddy. It's like that basketball guy, right? I mean, I can't believe these guys say stuff when they're that well known.
Basketball? Sir, I'm not interested in basketball.
Okay.
What did the basketball say to you?
Oh, not to me. He said, something inappropriate about Jewish folk, and everyone got.
But they run the business and they can't catch a break.
Right. Blah blah blah.
Get off my neck, you motherfucker. Something along those lines.
Yes, but the bottom line about all of that is it's a joke, because any kind of prejudice.
Well, there's all different kinds of people that are in league with the devil, not just those.
That's true. It's not any one.
Don't put them all in one basket.
Exactly. That's what I say. Don't put them all in.
And if you're gonna put them all in one basket, make sure you flush it down the toilet.
Right.
Okay, that's all.
Right. And they're good.
Put everyone in the basket, because none of us is worth it. Good goddamn.
Well, that's you're drifting into judgmental motifs. It's not our thing.
Well, that's my purpose to be on the show. Yes. To be your foil, if it were, or to show the absurdity of what people say at any given moment.
I love the sound effects.
Yeah. I'm actually using duct tape to persuade one of my visitors to conform to my will.
don't believe a word I say.
They pay a top dollar for that too. My service.
I know.
I told you I go both ways.
You go not just both.
So,
you go all ways.
I go all the way, baby.
Yes, always. Right. So
I am a gentleman of the South.
So Frank got me this guy, and he was working
south of heaven, that is.
Until he showed up with he was totally in camo, and he had his face all camo, and he had his 50 caliber with him.
Just to have a highball at the bar.
Do you know?
My goodness.
Do you know what a Molly is?
Well, I know what Mollies are, but the street language is a term for ecstasy. But, no, I don't know what a Molly is.
Well, if you were a Marine,
in your vernacular,
if you were a Marine and you were an assassin or a sharpshooter,
right?
Your rifle is a 50 caliber, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not a little 30 but a 50 caliber, and you can accurately put that bullet into a target 3 miles away.
Well, I tell you, Tammy has put the target on my heart, and I'm more than 3 miles away from her.
So she's more than a Molly.
She's more than I don't know. I think they should bronze her hindquarters, or at least her buttocks should be represented on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Well, in her case, the Virginia Hall of Shame.
Comic relief. There is no such entity or believable persona. Everything is just
that is correct.
Make believe.
That is correct.
No matter what we say, don't believe a word of it.
Don't believe everything,
or anything,
but believe what you want.
Now, don't even go there. That's like a waste of time.
Okay. Well, I know. Listen, in this day and age, I don't even know if I'm fake news anymore. I have to look in the mirror.
Well, and we should all do that. We should all look in the mirror.
I think we should all look in the mirror until we see nothing. Yeah, that's deep for you, ain't it?
Yeah, baby. I like that.
Oh, that's right. And then when you see nothing, you may actually wake up.
Yep, you may wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, if you're offended by me, listeners, then you really should just be offended by yourself.
Right, exactly.
And you can be offended by yourself as far as I can.
Right, and that's a good healthy.
Don't even participate in what I have to say, really.
Just be offended by yourself. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I told you I'm very delicate.
Yes.
I'm easily offended, and I easily offend.
Right.
But with a friend like the Double Doctor, I am still offended by whether she is imaginary or not. Tammy's behavior was irreprehensible.
Well, as I was trying to describe earlier on.
But your forgiveness is very gracious, and I must make note of that. So, Tammy, one reason why a man like me would be upset with you was because you are so profoundly a meaty girl, and I like that. For you to be so disrespectful to someone like the Double Doctor, and I don't have to say that twice, Owl, Bob, and I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll never talk about her again.
Okay.
I can't be sure of the other personalities, but I won't talk about her anymore. But the fact that this man forgives you in the same breath where his friends are hurt and are willing to mitigate justice in his name, he tells us no and he forgives you. That in and of itself speaks to your deplorable judgment on not giving this man the proper due. And I will leave it at that, and I will honor the Double Doctor's wishes and no longer mention this real or imagined person again.
Well, thank you.
Until the next target.
Yes, until the next target.
Goodbye, Tammy.
Okay. So, So, long story short is we have to, and we can lose our sense of reality very easily.
Oh, I do it every day.
Yes, very easily.
Often.
the thing that keeps us grounded is patience.
Patience is absolutely the virtue. I agree. And I've gotten into much trouble in my life with having a lack of patience.
Right. That's so. I mean, things annoy me. Things can get under my skin, but I just step back and breathe deep, and I get perspective. And within a perspective, I see it's not a big deal. Once I see that, I see the opportunities that things will work out fine.
That is correct, sir. I do that too, but I also like to use satire as a way to attack and dispose my enemies.
Well, that's much better than anything else. That satire is the way.
Certainly, and as I had mentioned earlier, the person who is either real or not was not in any particular harm. Right. It was just satire. Yeah. A source of amusement, and dare I say, for somebody as hollow as I am, a source of meaning. Now I have to move on to something else because now, without our frenemy that I can no longer speak of.
So okay,
all the meaning has gone out of my life.
Let's move on to our friend.
But I'm willing to do that for the double doctor, and I can't say that, and I won't say that twice.
Right.
Double doctor.
So, did you appreciate Captain J?
I don't know who that. Oh, you mean the fella? Yeah. Unfortunately, and somebody did remark the sound cut out because you did put your thumb over the mic.
I was holding both things at the same time, so it's one of those.
Yeah, but who cares about that? Well, actually, it would have been nice for the audience to have heard the banter between both of us, but. Right. It was fantastic.
Right.
I'm very, very grateful. I'm also grateful that I didn't put your life in jeopardy by referring to him in such a way.
Right.
But that was all the Indian gangster. That had nothing to do with it.
Right, exactly. And that's a good character. I like the Indian gangster.
Yes, he's a very funny man. And as you notice, the characters get they're more obnoxious as you go down the line. They get more violent. They say more truthful things to the originator's nature.
Right.
So my dear Magic Man is quite insane. And he's in his violent thoughts most of the time. But, thank God for the arts and religion, and good mental health care.
Right.
It's okay.
And you always got.
But basically, the Magic Man was a stone throw away from being a serial killer. If it wasn't for, as one of my heroines would say, the kindness of strangers.
Right. Well,
such as yourself, Double Doctor.
Yes. I'm always here for you.
Well, and he's always not going to bother you.
Yep.
Or bother with you.
Right.
But he appreciates the sentiment, nonetheless.
Yep. But
see, he's a very firm believer that you have to work out your own damn problems.
Right.
And I am a firm believer of that as well. However, you do need to have a community.
Right.
But ultimately, the moments of doubt and when one is alone or one's head is hitting the pillow at nighttime, that is entirely a personal affair. And I hope for the listeners, they really key in on what I'm saying, even though I'm using a silly voice. This is where having a God, a higher power, or whatever you wish to call it, is very important. And also to really cultivate a belief. I'm not necessarily saying you should view it as I do, but for me and all the personalities, including the originator, Dr. Magic, or Mr. Magic, rather. He's not a doctor. He's not even a single doctor, but he got a GED. He's getting close. To cultivate an understanding for oneself that the universe is loving and supportive. And if you can go to that place in times of doubt, fear, questioning of oneself and one's sanity, or maybe even purpose, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
And that comes in many different forms. I wish every one of you of the unwashed internet masses that are listening to my voice to please find that for yourself. Now I will go back to being obnoxious. Thank you.
Okay. And all it takes, fans, is just to breathe. Breathe deep.
Just breathe.
That little conscious mind that has all that self-loathing in it.
Except if you have something in your mouth.
Right.
And then just tell that person to breathe. Yep. But that's beside the case. Yes. But at least if you have someone in your mouth, something in your mouth, excuse me, you're serving a purpose. Bring some joy.
Yep. That's all you gotta do.
With your mouth.
Yep.
I think that should be the name of the podcast. Bring joy with your mouth. I don't think we'd last very long. Or Joyous Mouth. I think I knew her. Anyway. What's your name, honey? My name is Joyous Mouth. Oh, my goodness. Yep. Is that your name or your occupation? Anyway.
That's your name.
This is what happens when I listen to too much Millie Jackson. So, I'm by myself too much. Yep. I need help. But old Millie, she get a rise out of me.
Yeah.
So I need help. So, Double Doctor, how can I help you, sir?
Oh, I'm good. Let's see, what time is it now? Almost 4 o'clock. How much juice?
That's correct.
I got about 20% left in my battery. I've been doing the show now for an hour and 45 minutes.
That's how long?
Yeah. Well, we hit many subjects.
I just hope you don't get too much hate mail. Anyway.
Oh, I don't really, there are a few trolls out there, but they're kind of sweet, kind of nice.
No, the trolls are all right. I like a troll. Right. But I just don't, you're taking a big chance taking all these personalities on. I don't even know where they're going to go myself.
Well, that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it.
They're liable to say anything.
Right. Well, that's all right, too.
I don't know about that. Oh, yeah, I have to have a meeting with them.
Right.
Sven Gali and the Indian gangster.
Right.
Who does not, at the moment, does not have a name. I think he just doesn't want to tell anybody his name, so he doesn't go to jail.
He's known as the unmentionable one.
Well, that's true. Like in India, they got the untouchable. Right. That guy's so bad, he's the unmentionable.
He's the unmentionable.
He's beyond untouchable.
You're right.
I saw the Untouchables with Elliot Ness.
Elliot Ness. Yeah.
Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Dr. Al, I'm gonna share a pet peeve.
Okay.
Now, when I was growing up, oh my goodness, I hope you didn't get any on your bed. Anyway, good. What did you have for breakfast today, sir?
Oh,
I'm not watching I can always tell when I'm looking at your bed, but I'm not looking at the computer.
A Jimmy Dean sausage, egg, and cheese croissant.
Jimmy Dean. Good. This actually leads me to what I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay, shoot.
The synchronicity of the universe.
You know it.
Jimmy Dean, if you know, was in a film, a James Bond movie, as the villain.
Really?
Yes, sir. He was in Diamonds Are Forever.
Really?
Which leads me to my pet peeve. Okay. Now, as far as a definition of a very masculine man, a masculinity with articulation.
You mean Mr. Macho?
And grace. I wouldn't even denigrate him by calling him macho. He's much more elevated than macho.
Okay.
Sean Connery.
Oh yeah. Well, he's in a he's in a group by himself.
Certainly is. And I think for any young man, heterosexual, he would be a very, very good role model.
Yep. His one little peeve was he was a sociopath.
Well, they got to work too.
Yep.
And he found something to do with that sociopathy that was constructive.
Yep.
But anyway, I'm not going to defend mental illness.
Okay.
I'm only going to just laugh at it.
Yep.
But anyway, including my own folks, so don't get upset. All right. Now he spells his name Sean, S-E-A-N. Okay. Now, when I was taught by my mother how to spell Sean, it was always S-E-A-N. Now, I've noticed noticed over time. Now, either people got lazy or there are other ways to spell Sean. I am upset with the other ways that they spell Sean. They spell that phonetically, like Shawn, like that nonsense. SHAWN. And I'm sorry, because Sean Connery, although the name Sean existed long before the man's birth, but he is the definitive of what that name is. So if you're going to name your child Sean, name it and spell it correctly.
And that is
because I took the time when I was a wee boy to learn how to spell the damn name right, Sean, SEAN. Don't go messing it up and spelling it some other damn way. So I don't care if you all got to go back to erase the birth certificate, get that retyped, whatever it is. That is offensive to me. To spell your name Shawn, SHAWN. Indeed. I told you I was easily offended.
Yeah, easily.
So please, doctor, if you do anything for me, straighten that out. Straighten these people out for me, please.
I will get right on it. I'll get the.
Thank you. Thank you. See, I can move off the top. That's my other obsession, other than the person with the letter T who neither exists or does not exist.
That's all we'll call it from now on. It's just T.
Watch yourself, T.
Yep, exactly.
You're lucky. The dogs have been called off, T. That doesn't mean that they can't. That order can't be reactivated.
Woof woof. Bow wow.
That's it. That's it, T. That's it, T. Yeah, T. Yeah. This is me, the unmentionable one.
Yes.
The Calcutta, straight out of Calcutta, gangster.
Gangster.
We even know about your problem here. In the East. Not the East Coast. New York City. We're talking India. We know about your bad behavior, Miss T. But we have been told to back off. So we're going to back off right now, Miss T. The person who either exists or does not exist. Whether you exist or not, pain is pain, my dear. And you are very lucky.
So, moving right along. Unmentionable one.
Yes.
Unmentionable one. So that's UMO.
Yes, that's my tag. I graffiti all over.
Yeah, UMO.
Calcutta.
So
UMO. UMO, straight gangster.
Yeah.
Yumo. You call me Yumo.
Yumo.
You call me Yumo, you bearded old guy.
Yeah, okay. Yumo.
You think you're so tough behind beard. I'll come and visit you.
Well, I would love that,
You better. You make me a ham sandwich because you are uncultured redneck.
Right. Well, not quite, but I'm living amongst them. I'm an anthropologist.
No, you're not. You're just hiding out. You're just. You think you're smart with degrees and friends and all this art stuff, but you are contaminated by redneckism.
I've
You're
been
polluted.
here 20 years. Yes.
Your soul is polluted. You're
inculcated. I've been inculcated.
You're grasping at straws, my friend.
Yes, I've been inculcated.
You come back to New York City to try to regenerate,
I
like
will.
Doctor,
I'm heading there.
like Doctor Who, but you're double doctor.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, my country, we do double too. We had Gandhi, then we had Indira Gandhi. Double.
And there's
Twice.
There are other Gandhis in the works too.
That's right. Very common name.
Yes.
That's like Smith, Jones, Gandhi.
Gandhi.
That's a law firm.
Gandhi
and Owl.
Yes.
And Jew Puffy or whatever his name is, who run bar, who promote alcoholism for the devil.
Right.
On Saturdays. In the basement.
Okay. Umo. Easy
yes. Boy. Okay.
So my question, Umo, what do you think of the? Is there real democracy in India, or is it just a scam?
It's a scam. That did not take me long to give you answer.
No.
It is a scam just as much as it's a scam in your country.
I know.
But it is more the disgusting and poverty here.
Right. Yes.
Over there is horrible too. You have redneck methamphetamine poverty.
Right.
You have destruction of human lives.
And the environment and everything else.
Yes.
Yep. So it's
well, if you don't care for your surroundings, how would you care for yourself?
Exactly. So it's
for a gangster, I am very philosophical.
You are Umo. You are
No, it's Umo.
Right, Umo.
Yes, say it right, or your life is in danger.
UMO, Umo.
That's correct. Okay. Say it again.
Umo.
Say it again.
Umo.
Say my name like the song. Say my name. Say my name.
Umo.
That's right. Very good. Yes. How may I help you?
I had a girlfriend named Umo.
Oh well, don't say I'm a woman now. That's messed up.
No, but,
what you try to do now, Owl? No. You question my masculinity. Call me a woman's name you used to be with. I'm very upset now.
No.
You're on very shaky ground now.
She was a Black Panther extraterrestrial dimensional character.
I don't even care if she is the Black Panther himself, but you don't refer to me as a woman. It's no good.
No. But that name was a spiritual name, and it was genderless, and it was the most powerful name there was.
That makes you feel better.
Yes. Well, I'm just telling you what it was.
I will spare your life.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Be careful.
I'm always careful with you.
You don't know who you're messing with.
Oh, I do.
Well, you better.
I do.
You tell your audience. Straight out of Compton. I am the Indian gangster.
Right. And
I punch sacred cow. I shoot one.
Yes.
I go to jail only one day.
Right.
Because the whole country fear me.
Right. You are the unmentionable one.
I am the unmentionable one.
Yep.
No one even wants to say my name.
No.
I give you the privilege to say my name.
Umo.
And then you compare me to woman. That's very angry to me.
I did not compare you to a woman.
Yes, you did. No good.
No.
Stop. Don't bring it up again.
I won't bring it up again.
Okay. I still care for you.
Oh, thank you. I care
for
you.
Good person. Yes, but you have to be careful. Boundaries.
I'm always there for you.
Yes. So, I'm sure the chat room is silent. Even the chat room fears me.
Yeah, they do. I can see that.
They're so quiet. They do not.
I have to put on. Not only am I a double doctor, I have to put on 2 glasses here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I always thought the expression 4 eyes was very stupid.
Right. I'm
American children mock each other. Oh, your 4 eyes, your 4 eyes. Right. It's like, you son of a bitch, I have glasses.
Yes. Exactly.
They are not actual eyes. Get your shit straight. Yeah. See, American children are very stupid.
Well,
Very, 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 very spoiled.
Yeah.
No concern for themselves or others.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because then people like me, gangster, take advantage of disruption and degradation. But then they look at me, say, "Oh, you're a criminal." I said, "No, you're criminal."
You're a criminal. Yes.
I am like a vulture. I just pick off of your corpse.
Right.
You are the dead people in the street, not me. I am only the carrier crow.
Yep.
That's it. You see, I'm deep, man.
Oh boy, Umo, you are. So,
right.
Umo, do you have any business interests in Manhattan?
Yes, I go to Patty's bar.
Okay.
I have an interest in Patty Bar. I want to steal it from him.
Is that the one that's in the Lower East Side, the oldest Irish bar?
It's 81st Street, Hudson.
Okay.
No, 81st. No, not. I am sorry. I am stupid. 81 Hudson Street.
Right, 81 Hudson.
A bunch of old hippies used to go there. Thought that
that's
they
Puffy's.
thought
That's Puffy's, not Patty's.
Puffy, I say. Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I give wrong name.
Right.
Puffy. Yes, Puffy. Yes, I want to buy puffies.
Okay. Yeah.
Just so that the memory of a hippie can be like washed away.
Well, it wasn't a hippie bar. It was artists, and
Yeah,
and you would like it.
No,
People who were mercenaries. It was a mercenary bar.
that's good too. But you see, if they were real mercenary, people would not know the location.
Well, no one knew it but me and Frank. So I'm just.
Well, now that you told everybody in the internet, now we have to move somewhere else.
Okay.
You spill the beans now. That's no good.
So that's where I had a long love affair for Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell, yes.
I met her.
She suffered from Morgan's disease. I think.
Yeah. And
she has fiber growing out of body.
Right, and being a Canadian.
I thought maybe she could hook up my cable box to fiber. See you in hell.
Yep. But I first met her in the stairwell of The Bitter End.
Yes, she was very bitter in the end.
And she was practicing in the hallway, and my friend lived upstairs, Ralph, and his mother would make a great Italian dinner every Friday, and I would go over there for the great Italian dinner. And as I was heading up, this a pretty young thing was in at the stairwell going, "Can you listen to these songs?" And I said, "Okay." I sat on the steps, and she played them, and she played every song that was on the Blue album,
Right.
And
she had a long love affair with Jaco Pastorius.
Yeah. She was.
Yes. I think maybe she robbed Cradle with that because he was younger.
Yes.
But it's okay, Jaco. I like Jaco.
Yeah, she had a real, and also, what's his name?
I like him even more now because he's dead. But she still lives.
Right, and
But she helps me with my cable box, so it's okay.
I really appreciated. She was a real artist because she kept changing what she was creating.
Well, she changed her panties, so that's good. Because you don't have bad hygiene if you don't do that. That's probably why she got Morgana's, because you do bad hygiene. And you have to clean both inner and outer flaps, ladies. Remember this.
And again, I'm giving a don't believe a word we say. This is just for.
Now look at old hippie afraid now. Oh boy.
No, I'm not afraid. It's just
ever since Kent State shoot at you, you're scared. That's no good. You got to get tough like gangster. That's why I'm in your life.
Yes.
We try to balance the nihilism and pacifism. We try to come to some
well, I am a
way
I'm a
way for you to defend yourself.
I'm a diplomat.
In case of in case of emergency, break skull. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You got to be numero uno, double doctor.
Well, my basic theory is not to be there when shit goes down.
Yes, that's right. My theory is be the problem and make the shit go down. I punch Sacred Cow.
Yes.
I stab people. I go to jail one day only.
Yep.
Because my country is largest democracy. I get away with murder.
Yes. Well, okay. So what do you think of Modi?
I told you I don't know him.
Oh, okay.
He is useless.
Yes, well, he's a definite.
But then again, he's on my other friends, payroll. Right, so he serves function in terms of corruption, but not as a worthwhile human being.
Right. So.
But But then again, I have no morals or values either.
So do you think? I mean, what category would you put that corruption? Would you call it fascism?
I'd call it meism. Pay me or you die.
Okay.
That's what I don't get all technical, Jordan Maxwell, the axe handle and sticks and the history of blah, blah, blah. I don't care about these things. I care about money. Loot. Greenbacks.
Loot. I like that term, loot.
The bread, yo.
Yeah, bread, yo.
That's it. You know, and moldy bread, whatever he called himself, it doesn't matter to me because he's just a puppet.
Yeah, he is.
But he pays the right gangsters. The right gangsters do their thing. Right. I get a little bit on side, and that's it. So. But I'm on your show. I don't know why though. I would think for a person like me, I would not want to know you. But you make me. You. I am compelled to help you.
Right. Well, you know that's part of my.
Because you would be incredible gangster.
Well, yes.
You would rival Marvel Kingpin.
Yes. Well,
you would be bigger than that.
I know.
You would. Oh my goodness.
It's too much effort. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I get that. Yeah, you old, you don't want to work.
Right,
it's okay.
Right. It's too much effort.
It's okay.
I mean, back in the good old days, you know, I was amongst that crowd, but I had my little niche, and I stuck at my niche, and that was good, and I didn't have to worry, and I had. You do
not compromise.
No, no, exactly.
That is a gangster quality.
Right, exactly.
I like that.
Yes, exactly.
I have to respect that. We may be on opposite sides, but I respect commitment.
I would say we're not on opposite sides. We just have different techniques.
Well, yes, mine is murder and mayhem. Yours is peace and understanding.
Right. Exactly. But we're still on the same side. We're still on the same side.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get too deep, non-dualism, things of this nature, but I understand. Right. I understand.
That's why we get along, you know?
You're probably like, this is very thoughtful man, gangster.
Yeah.
And yes, I am. Because you cannot, you see, you have to understand, gangsterism, you're not a meathead. You're not a stupid.
Right.
You have to understand human nature, basic human nature. You have to understand philosophy, spirituality.
Right.
Now, many may not be as articulate as I am, but in essence, these people you label gangster. Now, I'm not talking just street soldier. I mean, they serve purpose.
Yeah.
But the deeper brain behind the organization.
Yes, all the gangsters.
They have to understand this. Most are very, very, very well-rounded, well-read.
Yep.
You know, or they have people around them that are smart.
Right. But no, they're smart too. No, they're smart too.
You know, so they have to. You know, because you have to know these things, and you understand, you penetrate the veil, like you asked me before, democracy, the criminal element. Now listen carefully, viewers. Listen, dull brain out there.
Yep.
And I call you that to get you upset, because that's the only way to wake you.
Wake up, wake up.
Listen, dull brain. All what you think, did your mother, your father tell you know, everyone can be president and, you know, this and that and, you know, it's election time. I make a difference. It's all bullshit. Criminal element understand this more than anyone on planet.
Yep.
Look at Joe Kennedy.
Yep.
Big gangster. Such a big gangster. He wants power. He puts a playboy, drug addict son into president.
Right.
So wake up. Don't waste your time. Vote and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, these things. Don't waste your time.
No.
Develop yourself. Take care of you and the people that are around you that you care about.
Yep.
If anyone is outside that circle, who cares? No, I do not care for that. I care only for my immediate circle, people that I love and respect. And I would give my life for them, just like I told the double doctor. I'm not joking. And anyone outside of that circle, I don't care. You could perish in your own life. I don't care. So that's all I have to say. That's my soapbox.
Okay, I like it.
But the truth, but the overall is it's all bullshit.
Yes.
And you judge a criminal. You are a criminal.
Right.
Criminally ignorant.
Right.
Criminally ignorant.
You got it.
You need to wake up. Right. See that these things they taught you. You have been brainwashed.
Yeah.
And the criminal knows that more than anyone in your so-called society. They see it clearly.
Yeah.
They may not be able to articulate. They kind of maybe pretend to be stupid, or they are stupid. But they do recognize that it's all bullshit. And I say, do not take that away from the criminal mind, because their understanding of the web or the structure could serve you if you listen carefully.
Well, that's what most people don't do. They don't listen.
Correct. I guess I do care, because I'm even exposing that to unwashed masses.
Yes.
I don't really, it doesn't mean shit to me. I go about my business. But it is a little easier if you don't have as many stupid people around.
Yep.
So it is self-serving. I'm not going to say I'm doing it to,
right.
Make world better place.
Right,
I'm a nice guy. No, fuck all that shit.
Right.
No, I just make this better for my ass.
Right. I mean, that's why people go, oh, you're so good, you're so patient, you're so this. No. I do this because it makes my life easier, more interesting, all the above.
See, I know you a gangster.
Right.
Good. See, we break past this Ben and Jerry facade bullshit. we get to the real deal.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna get more viewers.
Always.
Now you're gonna get even more viewers.
Yes.
Because we just broke through.
Right.
You know, we're not going to wetlands down in the city and see shitty fish cover back now.
Yes, exactly.
We're going to the heart of the matter.
Is wetlands still around?
No, I am very grateful it is gone.
Right. I wired that place too. It was a piece of shit from the beginning.
Terrible people ran that place.
Right. Well, the only
they did things in the basement there on Saturdays. You wouldn't believe.
They all did that. I mean, Studio 54, they had those cages and they hung people.
That's correct.
Good old what's his name? Cohen was down there big time.
Well, I know. My boy Ladas, he's a friend with Cohen.
Right.
He even communicate to Cohen from beyond the grave with a Ouija board.
Yep.
He said he was going to help you with the person who we cannot name.
Right.
I have to get Beauregard up to speed with that, so that it will not be mentioned again.
Right.
This woman is very lucky, though. I will say that. When she wakes up in the morning, she does not know the amount of pain that has been avoided in her life.
And the bottom line about any of that, her life is hers, and it's
her life is her own punishment.
Right, exactly.
I have to do nothing.
Right, exactly.
But I do sometimes relish and enjoy speeding up the process.
Yeah.
But I have been given my orders. From Double Doctor, the real gangster.
Right.
And I can only respect you.
Yes.
You are not just a sensei. You are
OG. I'm an OG.
You are OG, and I forget what they say in Japan. Samurai has to have a master.
Master. Samurai's master.
And you would be because I am a gangster, you would be my master.
Right.
Because I'm a street samurai from the streets of Calcutta.
Right. But the name of the boss. I mean, it's Japanese for boss, basically. So
yes,
it's on the tip of my tongue.
I'd have to look for it.
Yes.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
But,
you're a good man. I like you.
And the kazoo, and I'm not pronouncing it correctly, and I apologize for all those in Japan who might.
A kudzu is a plant.
I know. But the name of the organizational structure of the gang.
You mean the yakuza?
Yes, yakuza, right?
Yes, that the real gangsters.
Yeah. They've been there for 1,000 years.
Oh yes. They are offshoot from the samurai feudal period.
Did you see
Japan?
Kill
Japanese. Bill? I just watched Kill Bill. Yes. But it's very upsetting to watch because I saw pictures David Carradine and autoerotic asphyxiation death.
Yeah.
Then I also was in. Well, I guess I will tell you. Beauregard was involved with that. So when I see that movie, I'm very, very upset.
Well, you know, the interesting thing about that movie is that it's as real as what's his name could make that movie.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, Quentin. Right. I mean,
Quentin.
That's what I really like about that guy. He pushes it to the edge of truth. So it's you know, I was telling you, my friend Frank, who had all, you know, he had the bar Puppies. That was a mercenary bar. It was
where they did the rituals on Saturdays.
Right. So it was a lot like that, and so I got to know those guys really well, to the point where I got to know who they really were, and not just the
murderers,
the motif, the murderers, and it was quite interesting. They couldn't do what they wanted to do at Puppies. So one of them, who was a Mossad guy, who was sent to kill me, but he didn't because he was enamored because my friend was John Cale, and we were at a coffee bar, and John said, "Don't turn around, but I think there's a guy staring at you, and he wants to kill you." And I got up and walked over to him, and he's like, you know, he's dressed like the modern James Bond. You know, he's like really cut, and he's kind of short, and he's wearing a leather jacket and really nice pants shirt, black shoes. And I said, "So, you're a Mossad."
What was he going to kill you with? His fashion sense?
Well, you know, Mossad guys can kill you with almost anything.
Yes.
So, and I said, "So you've been staring at me now for 2 days. So what's up?" And he goes, "Is that John Cale?" I said, "Yeah, of course it is. Come on over and talk. I love him. I love his music. I can't. No. Come on. I'm his biggest fan. Come on. He'll love to meet you." And that's why that guy didn't kill me.
Why did Mossad want to kill you? What did you do?
Oh.
Did you tell everyone about the rituals on Saturday?
Oh, no, worse.
Oh, boy.
I lived in Williamsburg, Brooklyn before anybody else did, right? My landlord was a Hebrew rabbi, and he had a Lubavitcher, you know, a school for rabbis, right?
So did he have the curls?
He had everything. The block.
Hasidim?
Yes, he was total
side lock?
Yes.
Yes.
And so
side lock.
He came into my house.
Side lock. That's actually from Egypt.
I know. And so
then they because they follow Moses. Moses, Egyptian occult.
Right, exactly. And I had all
a lot of people don't want to hear this either.
Right.
They're upset.
I had all the books in my library, and he was going, "Wow, you need to be a rabbi." And I said, "Rabbi, I'm Catholic, I'm Irish, I'm German, I'm Italian." He goes, "Well, no one's perfect." I said, We're like the Amish of the Jews. We'll take anybody." I said, he goes, "I want you to study you know, the mystic part of this." I said, "I already have, because that's why I want you in my..." Anyway, long story short, I went to his school. He was always trying to fix me up with the, you know, the Hasidim women look like Xena, the warrior princess, and the guys look like something that ran down somebody's leg. And so, you know, he wanted me to build up the gene pool.
Well, understood. Yes.
Right. And so this woman came from Israel to study at Juilliard, and she was going to be the first female cantor of Israel. Right?
Okay.
And so he wanted me to hook up with her, because then he would have some real political power, and he could get over Maya Kahani's shoe. And so anyway, you know, he put us together and gave us plenty of time to, you know, spark. But we were more like brother and sister. We really got along. We were real buds. I showed her New York, took her everywhere, took her to all the clubs. And then, you know, I came from Harlem, so I knew all these black clubs, and I know all these jazz musicians. And I took her up to this a jazz club way uptown and in the Bronx. And we come in, everyone, they got a table waiting for me. Other people are waiting online, straight out of Goodfellas. And the guy who was up there, my bud, who had his band, he played all the reed instruments, everything from a clarinet to a bass saxophone. He had them all lined up, and he was playing away, and he's looking at me, but he's really looking at the girl I'm with, right? And she plays the clarinet, right? So she's watching him, and they're both reed people, and I'm like going, the set is over. He comes down, he gives me a big hug. He goes, "Who is this beautiful lady, this queen, this, and my, Ebony, and she really lays it on. And boy, they just spark like you can't believe, like a nuclear weapon. Anyway, so I go, So I stay with him like the the Jewish woman who stays, between two people as they are getting to know each other. Anyway, long story short, they go on a few dates. They run away together.
Oh boy.
Yes, oi boy. And my rabbi, oi boy.
Magic man.
Yes, oi boy.
The gangsters left the building.
Right. And so, oy vey. And so my rabbi comes to me and goes,
Oy vey.
You have to get out of town. You have to leave the country. You have to go to ground.
You ruined it for everyone.
That's right. And he goes, you got to go. So I said, now. He goes, you got any money? I said, a little bit. He gave me some money. He says, I want to know where you're going. So I went, got on to Freddie Laker, went to London. Then I went to Ireland and went to the islands and stayed a year and came back.
And then you came back, and then the Mossad was going to kill you.
Right, and came back.
But John Cale saved you.
Exactly. That's the story.
All right. Yeah, that's good, man.
So the Mossad guy knew that his life wasn't going to be anything unless he took me out. So we went back to John's house, and John had just gotten married to this beautiful, beautiful musician girl who was in my girlfriend's band, Jane Fire Band, at CBGB's. You might have seen her.
What's the name?
The Jane Fire Band, and she was the drummer.
All right. It's a little bit before my time.
Right. This is the early 80s. Anyway, so they go in there, and John has an amazing apartment in the West Village off of 10th and Bank. A whole floor, right? A penthouse, right? It's got lawn, the whole thing. And so we show up, and this guy, and he's like, his eyes are wide. And right off the bat, his wife knows that this guy is flying both ways. So she takes him in and to her boudoir and, cleans him up, and he comes out in a beautiful dress. And his soul has like gone to new heights. He's no longer the colonel in the IDF, and he's no longer the Mossad guy. And so he is like got the wig on, the makeup on, the dress. He's just a happy guy, and so he's now got a new life in the West Village, and so we're living up there. Week or so goes by. We're at this other place, Weiser's Bookstore. Did you ever go to Weiser's?
No. I've heard of it, but I never went.
Over on the east side, and it had. No. So it was like antediluvian bookstore, but behind the Magic Mirror was the clubhouse. And they had. Did you ever go on 8th Avenue near the bus station where all those fruit stands are?
Yes.
Do you know what's behind those fruit stands?
Fruit.
No. Behind the fruit stand is where the gangsters. It's like the gangster Walmart.
Oh.
You can get anything you want if you're a made man. You can go in there.
Right.
So, and any food, any gun, any boy, any girl, whatever you want, it's got it. Right. Yeah. So anyway, and that was Weiser's in the antediluvian stage. And so we go in the back, and anyway, we're in there. And again, we're not in the back. We're in the front of Weiser's, and we're sitting at these nice chairs, and we're talking about this and that. And they basically... Again, the guy is looking strangely at us, And Yost in the dress gets up and goes over and goes, Gotti, come. And it was his buddy, his sweetie, another Mossad agent who was sent to kill me and Yost. And so he then goes up to John's apartment. Now, both the guys are wearing dresses and wigs and having a jolly good time. And then my rabbi left a message on my. Remember when before cell phones there was the little pager things? I had one of those.
Sure.
And he said, "Call me." I called him. He goes, "Listen, Mossad has decided not to kill you because if they send any more people, they'll just lose them like those two." So
they'll just make them all gay.
So those two guys, I got them an apartment on 7th Avenue and maybe 38th Street, right? Kind of near where the Fashion Institute is over there.
Sure, I know that area quite well.
Yeah. So
I have a question for you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Double doctor.
Yes,
I don't need to say that twice.
Yes.
When you come to Staten Island,
right?
I'm sure you're going to want to see Manhattan.
Oh yeah, baby.
Okay. So what's your mobility like as far as like walking and stuff? Do you have problems with that, or what's going on there?
I can walk, and then I need to rest, and I can walk, and I need to rest. I can walk, I can eat. So I can.
So then we'll have to plan any excursions that are going to happen. We have to plan sort of around that.
And I can walk a good deal. It's not like I'm a cripple. It's just that,
I know you have some mobility stuff, so I just wanted to ask you.
Yes, I'm like.
I don't want to be like plan an itinerary and run it all over the place.
Like,
it's not going to happen.
You know what? If you could get me a Metro pass, so we could get on buses and subways.
We'll work on that when you get here.
Yeah. So that I think would be the best, because there's, like I said, there's a bus that goes from.
You should be able to buy Metro cards at the ferry.
I'm going to take a bus. I'm kind of up that side of.
Right. Well, then at the bus station.
Right.
They'll probably have the machine itself there, where you can just put in the money and it'll give you a card.
Well, that may be.
You get them. The best way to do, the way I do it, I don't know how long you're going to be here, but I always buy a monthly, which I forgot how much it is.
Yes. What does that cost?
I forget what it is. It's like 100 something.
Yeah, like that's almost past my budget.
So then maybe you have to do a weekly.
Right. Well, anyway, we'll figure it
out. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Anyway, so those
guys. Is John coming? Is John gonna come too, or no?
Oh, yeah. It's I would say no, because I keep bringing it up, and I said, John, you need to go to someplace. I have to take care of my children. I said, why aren't you with them now? Right?
But he doesn't take care of them now. So.
He hasn't taken care of them in 7 years.
Wow.
He's gone to visit them maybe 7 times for maybe a week or 2 at a time in 7 years.
Right. How's he doing, John? You in touch with him at all? Or no?
Yes, I call him relatively frequently.
He seems fairly active on his channel, which is pretty good.
When he goes into a character, he's quite salient. When he's not, he's got problems.
Sorry to hear that. What can you do?
The bottom line is, from my shrinky perspective, he shows no real. Oh, what's the term? He's not sociopath. He has no. What he is neurotic.
Right.
Again, that's just my opinion. I have no shrinkiness behind it to go there. But from my experience, he's just neurotic, and he will not. And to get over being neurotic, you have to. It's like being an alcoholic or a drug addict. Neurotic is another addiction. You just have to commit yourself to change.
Well, you have to let go of the thinking that's making you spin out.
Right, exactly.
Which is not easy, but it's doable.
But you have to commit yourself to it.
Yeah. Well, that's a major principle behind any change.
Right.
Is commitment. And as human beings, people fall off. and then but you recommit.
Right. And see, they don't understand that that's what life is, right? And the more practice.
I mean, the more he tries it and practices it, maybe he'll have that.
Right. So, but he doesn't
I know
practice it at all, right?
That's kind of my condition. I do the same things. I have to stay committed to certain things that I do daily or close to doing daily, so that I can keep the homeostasis.
Right. Exactly. Homeostasis. And my
and I don't mean homostasis.
No, homeo.
I don't mean homostasis.
Homeo.
Although homeo, wherever for out there, homeo. Because I love a parade, Anyway. I love a parade, man. If you feel me.
Yes, I feel
if you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
So you talk to the gangster, you talk a little bit to Mr. Magic. Now you got me.
Yeah,
I got the word about Tammy.
Right.
I'll let it pass. I'll let it pass, and that's the last time you'll hear the person who either exists or don't exist name come out of my mouth.
Right.
But I will echo the sentiment that my colleagues have said. That particular biatch is very, very lucky because the pain train was about to stop at her station, if you catch my meaning.
Right.
But it's been derailed, and she must have quite a God in her life who was very merciful.
Right.
And that is all I will say on that subject.
Well, I don't want to call myself a god, but I'm just a diplomat.
No, well, I'm just saying that must have been a very beneficent force that put that thought into your mind and translated into the words coming out of your mouth, sir, and touched my heart and the hearts of my colleagues, and I do think I can speak for them, even though we all have our own picadillos of insanity.
Persona.
But, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is
persona non grata.
Yes, exactly.
But anyway, as I said, I am done with that subject. However, I am on retainer for such an event if it becomes necessary.
It's not going to ever happen.
All right, sir.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Sir, you told us about puppies. Oh, that's very nice.
Yes. Yeah.
And the massage and the dress, that's also very spectacular.
And I have photos of it too. That's the
oh my goodness. Oh boy.
And
we gotta start putting all these photos. You're gonna have them with you?
Yes, I'm gonna have a good collection. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna have to scan them and and there are ways to put them up on YouTube. So when you're talking about them, we can,
instead of holding them jiggly in my hand.
No, and then these wise acres saying, "Oh, you need a easel or something."
Right.
So I'll easel you, whoever said that.
Well, again, those folks they're snowflakes in that.
They have the couth of a bear, sir.
Well, no, or less of it, because they have had no. They came from, well-to-do families, right? They never had to worry about paying a bill.
They come from lazy horse shit. If I may be so bold. If I may be so bold.
And whatever they.
And even horse shit serves a function, sir.
Yes.
You can use it in compost.
Right. And
not even worth compost.
Not even worth compost. And
I don't even think Hitler and his bunch would even make soap or a lampshade out of these individuals. That's how low they are.
Again, I wouldn't go that far, but
I will.
Yes. It's not my place to.
Well, that's why I'm here. I'm here to help.
Right.
I'm sort of a janitor in some ways.
Yes.
I get rid of I push out the debris.
Yes.
That is getting in your way.
Yes. Well, see, it doesn't get in my way because.
That's because we're here.
Right. Well, basically, my philosophy is, I can deal with anyone, but I don't let them get into my field.
That is correct, sir.
Right? So it doesn't.
I will never let them get near you.
Right.
Physically.
They just, I see them 3 blocks.
I may have a sensitive nature, but I am a son of a bitch.
Yeah, I understand. And the other thing is, I really deal with everyone because I find I can learn something from everyone. Even
Certainly.
right. The biggest moron, I still can learn, right? And the other thing is, people who think they're so on top of it, so I'm really God's gift. I love to niggle them.
Sir, I don't know if you want to say that word. As it might be mistaken for another word.
No, so I'll use the word Freudenscheider.
Well, that's good.
Right.
But that's not going to get viewers.
No, won't get me in trouble.
Right. Yeah, but that's all right. I forgive you.
Okay. And Freudenscheider comes from the other person's own misgivings, and all the person who's observing the Freudenscheider is just watching.
Just watch, clap your hands, watch the cartoons.
Yep.
These people are really, I shouldn't be so hard. I really need to.
Yeah, you don't need to be.
Understand that people are people.
Right,
like the
exactly.
Depeche Mode song says, and all that good stuff. Yep. But I tell you, you mess with the double doctor, you might have to double down on it.
Right.
That's all I'm telling you.
Right.
That's all I'm letting your audience know.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
You never know.
We know somebody who just missed the pain train.
Right. So
it doesn't mean that the pain train can't come.
So the good thing. So I had all these friends who were mercenaries, right? And so I went to this party of this guy who worked for me, and I kept him. So
nothing like a mercenary in a dress. That's a real term.
Oh, you should.
Oh shit!
I got them this apartment, which was their clubhouse. So it was, you know what a railroad flat is, right?
Yeah. Right? So they would frolic in this house.
Yeah. So there was no furniture. I put up the disco balls and a few other.
Oh.
Yes.
Balls. Yes. I do declare.
And some other nice decorations of disco world.
So huffing amyl nitrate, wearing a dress, shooting an Uzi.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, but when
Morsey
they were
must have gotten quite moist.
When they were on the street, they were guys who looked really rough or really like Moshe. He always wore the nicest of suits. Not a tie.
It's a very hard-looking gentleman.
Right. So they're all.
But in the confines of the Le Cojufour.
Yes, exactly.
Set up disco ball emporium.
Right.
Amyl nitrate system.
Yes.
Roy Cohen backdoor.
Right.
Backdoor man service.
Yes.
Kind of
all the above. Yep. All the
understood. Above. Okay.
So.
Well, the good ship lollipop.
Yeah, the good ship lollipop. Exactly.
Oh my goodness. That's a sweet trip to the end shop.
So one of these.
I do declare.
So the guy who worked for me, he wasn't quite shifting that way. He had a beautiful Vietnamese wife.
Fruitful,
and had a beautiful little house out there near Coney Island. And I gave him employment as an electrician. And when he would kind of go up to deep end, I would just say, okay, you need a mental health break, go home. Be with your wife, smoke herb. Anyway, so we kept him on the straight and good navigation. So his buddies, who really cared for him,
he was straight. The other ones weren't so straight.
Right, and so they really, really, really appreciated that I could do that for this guy. Right, so he's having like a summertime barbecue. He loved to barbecue. So and the lady, his wife. She was amazing cook. So Thai food and ribs and lots of everything else. And it got to be about 3 a.m. And I said, well, I got to go, guys. And they go, how are you getting home? Well, so I'll just go take the bus and then the subway. I said, no. We'll drive you home. So I'm driving, and I had taken over a couple of buildings down on Avenue D and about 13th Street. And that's where they were selling drugs. And there were kids, families I put in these buildings. So I said, guys, why don't you just move it over near the park? And they were like, didn't like that. And so, they didn't want somebody like me to tell them just to move it to the park. So anyway,
Right.
and they had taken all of the fuses out of the street lights. So the whole street was dark. And these guys are in a like 1968 Buick, and the back seat was like a living room. And we're about 3 blocks from my place. And they slow down, and they kind of pull over to the side. And I go, "Oh, what's up, guys?" And they goes, "Oh, there's people waiting for you." So they get out, they open the trunk, and they had more guns. They had rocket launchers. You name the weapon, they had it. And they picked up whatever they wanted, but they were all automatic weapons. And one guy, you know what a minigun is?
No.
It's like a Gatling gun.
Okay.
But instead of a big thing, it's like something. Instead of putting on a jet plane, it's something a person could hold and wouldn't get like knocked over firing. But it shoots a lot of bullets. Anyway, so these guys get out. They get in front of the car and they just let loose. And you just see, the whole, 3 blocks are like totally lit up by their gun explosions and where the bullet hits and the tracers and the everything. And they, run out of ammo. They put the guns in the trunk and they drive me home. And there are bullet holes everywhere. I mean, just every freaking where. And I don't even take the time to look at it. I just get out. See you guys. They go, "You need us to go upstairs?" No, I said, "I think you got rid of them." So I, went up and everything was fine. Some people came to the door. "What happened out there?" Blah, blah, blah. I said, "No, go to sleep." So went to sleep. A week later, captain of the police department, the thing of that neighborhood, which is over on 6th Street, I think. He came by to visit and he goes, "Al, what happened? Do you have your own army?" I said, "No, I just have friends." And he said, "You've cleared up the drug scene for like 20 blocks. There's no, everyone's going to the other side of Houston Street." So I said, "Well, that's good." And so that's the end of the story of those guys. I mean, they had a righteous attitude. They didn't kill anyone. It was pitch black, couldn't see anything. They didn't hit a single guy. But they let loose.
It was just a warning.
Just a warning. Yep.
Just a message.
Just a message. So, and when I come, if I'm still there for New Year's, I'm going to take you to. What do you do for New Year's?
Cry in my pillow.
Would you like to go to a party of one of these guys?
Perhaps, as long as I don't have to wear a dress.
No, you don't have to wear a dress. But I have a friend who still has a wild, crazy, not wild, he's my age, so it's not as wild and crazy, but it's always loads of fun, good food, lots of interesting people. He knows lots of interesting people. So, and he's been doing it for years. And he built over in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, near Red Hook. He bought a lot, and he built a really interesting house using containers. He stacked them on top of each other and welded them, and then cut holes in them and put windows and doors and staircases.
Cool.
And, yeah, it's quite a cool place.
Yeah, I'm curious. I was hoping to meet your friends.
Yeah.
When you get here.
Yep. Well, that one party, you'd meet a whole bunch of them.
I'm not gonna. I hope this doesn't sound too self-serving, but I feel honesty is the best policy.
Of course.
I certainly wanted to network and self-promote.
Of course.
And I certainly had that intention.
Well,
and I wanted to be.
I still have my art connections. I still have my art.
Yeah,
connections.
Especially the art connections, because
we'll go visit some people.
My drummer is quite a talented painter. I feel I'm quite a talented artist, and hopefully I actually should reach out to my friend who's working on the poems for the Greater Key of Solomon book that we're putting out.
Yeah. because I know a bunch of poets too.
His name is Jason O'Toole. He's a published poet.
Yeah.
He's an occultist and a very good guy, and he's very excited about writing a poem for each of the 44 pieces that will be in this book.
Sounds like a plan.
And once that's all put together, we will reach out to publishers and we'll really make a nice coffee table book, nice printed,
right.
with the artwork and stuff. And, I think it would...
what I would like to do when I get there
do all right.
is to create something similar to Collab, but as a publishing company, Griot Publishing. Because if we can do that and we can get a stock of people in there,
right.
then we can go to the publishers and say, hey, it's like, being the manager of, a record label, and you then go to the big record label. I got all these people here, and this is what we're doing. And publishing has changed. So, it's like everything else. There's like 4 corporations that own all of publishing now. So
yes.
So you have to.
Just keep an open mind. See
right.
what happens.
And then with the essence of the internet, and that's the other thing I really want to look at, doing this publishing thing. Doing it really more on the line of the internet ourselves, just doing it, right? And doing it,
right.
What was the thing that the fibs or the nibs or the thing, the piece of art that's, put on the internet and you charge, like...
the NFTs.
The NFTs, something like that. But we started our own... it's still... I was around the internet thing when the World Wide Web happened. In the early 70s, and I knew a whole bunch of those people, and it seemed 2 things to me. It seemed already corporatized and also boring and pretty 2-dimensional. And I kept saying, well, I'll wait till it gets a little more interesting. And I think it's now at that little more interesting thing, because I think it's all going to change. I think it's what is here now won't be here for very much longer.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that, but things always change.
Things always change, and so that's what I kind of want to be in this place. That's why I'm taking the effort to come to New York, and is to say, okay,
right.
I'm going to be here for
yeah.
Till
it wasn't just for the pizza.
Right, it's not just for the pizza. No.
Right.
I've stayed in the woods long enough,
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, I'm very, hopeful for you because, these are the people that you've talked about.
Right.
Since we've connected. They seem like very dear friends of yours that you haven't spoken to in many years. And, we're similar. Like, we can get by without talking to people for decades if needed. But I'm sure you miss your friends on some level.
Right. I've stayed in touch with them.
Or at least curious. Like, what happened? Like, where are they now? Are they doing? Are they doing well? Or did they continue going on in the direction they were in when you were younger?
I've stayed connected to them. I talk to them at least 5
So you do. Well, that's good.
5 to 20 times a year. All these years.
Good.
So,
that's good. So you know where everybody is at.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that I haven't been. And when I came back to New York, and again, when I came back in 2011 for that wedding, I stayed there almost a month, hanging with people and seeing folk. And
oh, good. This is nothing out of the ordinary.
Right.
I'm just glad that the weather's good for you down there, that you don't have to freeze to death.
Right. Yeah. And I will, probably stay. There looks like a wicked ass, weird ass storm is heading to Florida and up the East Coast.
Yeah, Florida seems to be getting pummeled, man.
Right.
Well,
it's sticking right out there.
It's like the cock. It's like the cock of the country.
Right. It's like yes, and so
it's like a dick.
It is a dick, and it's sad you ever spend any time in Florida?
I spent a couple of weeks there.
Well, I used to
in Ybor City.
Right. Oh, I know that place. Yes.
I got a cigar,
Right.
and I was 28 years old.
I spent my parents had a house there, and I took care of them for 28 years. So I would go down for the summer and winters.
Yeah.
And to the point, I told my parents, I'm not going to be with you when you're assholes. So I bought myself houses. I kept stumbling into really good deals.
Yeah.
In the 90s and the early O's. And so,
right.
So I did that, and I stumbled in a couple really great girlfriends. And so that's all you needed. And so, and a bunch of really interesting people, especially around between 06 and 010. I was there, and that's when all those kids who went to really good schools, and then 08 happened. But see, 08 really started to happen for real around 05. I mean, things started to crumble. They didn't get it, they didn't get the job they thought they would. They wouldn't be the star they thought they'd be. And so this lawyer friend and I started a couple of coffee houses where these kids could hang out and invent the next app, And that crew was quite fun. Really loads and loads and loads of fun. And and so I enjoyed Florida, and that's one of my knacks. I show up just at the right time when it's the perfect time to be there. When real estate is cheap, when it's cheap to live, there are a lot of interesting people. And now if I went there, it would be a waste of time. And it's being destroyed by hurricanes. I mean, Florida is not going to be there for very much longer. I mean, it's only about 3 inches above sea level,
Yeah.
Do you know what the biggest export of Florida is?
No.
Sand.
Okay.
They have a type of sand there that makes amazing glass and concrete.
Okay.
And the entity that bought that sand was the Chinese.
Okay.
I mean, they took about a third of Florida away already.
I keep digging.
Yes. So, like I said, it's about a few millimeters above sea level, and so once that ice flow up there in the North Pole goes, pretty much the whole East Coast is gonna go bye-bye. And
well,
did you ever see the movie The Day After Tomorrow? Or read the book?
No.
It was written by a guy named Art Bell and Whitley Strieber.
I know both of those names.
Right.
Whitley Strieber wrote Communion.
Yep, exactly.
Art Bell had the radio show.
Exactly.
I like Communion.
Right. That was a great book.
I actually give myself communion every day.
Right.
I have the wafers in the house.
Did you Did you read any of his other books?
No, I have not.
So Communion was a good one, and then the next 5 books were basically a version of Communion, right? And that's one of the problems authors can get into.
Yeah, he kind of he's trying to
milk it for all it was worth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. But
yeah, I didn't really think much of him after that. But I like the film. It's
right,
great.
Right. Well, look who played him.
The
guy.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, Christopher Walken with a cowbell.
Yeah, they definitely. It's not so much like the book at all, actually, but it is a good film.
It's a good film. It's a great film.
But I like that stuff.
So for and the only thing that kind of kept him above water was Art Bell. Art Bell kept having him on the radio, and they would talk. And they
he's got like Strieber. He still does a lot on the internet. I think he has I think it's called Dreamland or something.
Yep, exactly.
He's got his own stuff.
And do you know who gave him the heads up about Dreamland?
I think it was my mother.
Double Doctor.
Oh, okay.
Right.
You're not my mother.
No.
No, I actually get along with you.
Okay.
So then you're definitely not my mother.
No. So he wrote.
She'll be gone soon.
He wrote 2 other books that were really, if you liked communion, you would like the book 2012 and Gray.
Okay.
So go look for those. In
so 2012 and Gay? What was
Gray,
that what you said?
Gray, Gray.